Welcome, everybody. How are you all doing today? I hope we're all good. Today is indeed, it's the return of Zero to Hero. You won't believe how tempted I was to call it 02, as in the number 2 hero. We might do that later. We might do it. But yeah, so we are coming back with this at long last. I will describe everything to you guys for episode 1 here so that we're all on the same page. So that we all know what's going on. But I am very excited about this. Someone already said in chat, I hope there's more of a plan on this one, because we were kind of winging the last one. I think we don't even need much of a plan, but I have got a very solid plan for every part of it until the very, very, very end, which is the extended weapon. And we have lots of options for, but that's the final thing. So, I want to get you guys into the loop straight away. Let's cut immediately into it. I want to give a nice big description of what's going on here. So this is the Zero to Hero challenge. This is the Zero to Hero series. This is a series in which we take an account that is in an incredibly fresh state, as though it's the first character on an account right at the very beginning of everything. So basically the lowest position a Guild Wars 2 player can start from, far lower than most realistically will be. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a new character specifically for raiding. And so the idea here is we're going to make a toon and pretend we're like a person who plays Guild Wars 2, and they wanna raid with their friends, and their friends have said, oh, you can raid with us, but we need X. We need a Rev. We need a Phalanx Strength Warrior. We need a Druid. We need a Thief. We need a whatever. Or we need a Chrono, right? That happened a lot recently because people like lots of Chronos at the moment. So, we're going to imagine we are that guy. And we haven't played much Guild Wars 2. In fact, we're that guy and we haven't played any Guild Wars 2. And we're going to see just how hard it is to raid in this game. Raiding is some of the best content they put out there. Raiding does include some pretty cool story sometimes. Raiding is a massive well of end game. And so the question is, how hard is it to get to? So a lot of people already, they get ticked off. They think that this game is World of Warcraft. It's not World of Warcraft. Raiding isn't that important. It's not that big a deal if it's difficult to get to a point where you can raid, because there is so much other stuff in this game. They don't lock the most important of story into raids and never will. But nonetheless, it's an interesting question to ask. It's such an interesting question to ask that when I asked this 9 months ago or so, on my crappy little channel Wooden Potatoes 2 that I never really plug anywhere and never really push, we had a huge viewership. The most viewed video on that entire channel is just a stream like this where we once upon a time tried it. So we did try and go with this challenge once before. We didn't have much of a plan. We originally voted for a Thief. But Thief at the time, this was when only one wing was out, okay, only a single wing of the raid was out, and at the time, Thief, a lot of people were saying wouldn't ever have a place and stuff. Raiding has now pushed a lot further forward in those 9 months. An entire raid is out. There are 3 wings. People generally understand that all classes have a place. All of them do. The one at the very bottom, I would say, is Scrapper, unfortunately, but they all have a place. And so I'm going to let you guys vote on the class here, and it can be whatever you want. It can be a Thief again if you want this time, and we won't undermine it. We will be the Thief, or we will be the Chrono if you guys feel like that's the most solid thing we need to be, or whatever. And we're going to see. We're going to play it, and I'm going to time it as we go. So I've got splits set up, I think, anyway, hopefully. I'm not sure how long we'll stick with those, but we're going to try and go as fast as we can from an absolute zero state to really get a base idea of how long does it take to reach raiding. There are a lot of people who complain, say it's too inaccessible, and I think that's bullshit, basically, personally, and I want to set out to prove that. I want to prove that it's actually not that bad. And so why are we doing a full reset instead of picking up our old character? Well, a lot of things have changed recently, particularly with the most recent Living World Season 3 patch, the Bitterfrost Frontier. ArenaNet made getting a lot of this stuff disgustingly easy, like to an absurd level, and they've undermined a lot of content. And so now Zero to Hero will be faster and quicker than ever before. The previous character we were running, we spent a long time having to do guild missions and things, but we don't have to worry with that. The previous run also got locked in fractals based on some bad advice that came from Twitch chat, and we ended up spending ages in there for no good reason whatsoever. We earned a bit of money, but we were trying to go for an Ascended Back Piece, and Ascended Back Piece is now really easy to get because of the new map. There's also PvP Season 5, and PvP Season 5 offers really fast opportunities for Ascended weapons. I don't believe you need Ascended armor. People clear some of these bosses with just 4 players these days out of 10. People clear it in all greens. People clear it with no armor on whatsoever. If you say to me in this series you need Ascended armor to clear raids, I'm going to ignore you. It means nothing. Ascended armor means nothing. So we're going to have exotic armor, and we're going to have fully ascended, stat capped everything else. And that will be a raid-ready character, and that will be the end of the run. And we might do a little bonus at the end where we actually clear the thing, but it's all about getting prepared for it. So, on this stream, this most special of streams at the very beginning, you guys get to vote on Straw Poll. Who do we pick in terms of a class for this run? So, that's what's going to be going on. Also, I'm going to be resetting my account to the lowest base area I possibly can just at the start here. So, that's the idea of Zero to Hero. I've been looking forward to coming back to it. We've been doing Nightfall Mondays for a while now. Also now we can return. So here's the overlays. This might change if you don't like that the screen space is shrunk even further. But you'll notice over here on the left now, I've written up some splits. So we'll start the timer and I'll time how long it takes us to get to level 40, which I consider to be the first milestone. Then level 80, which is level cap for Guild Wars 2. Then we'll have a look at how long it takes to get our armor of exotic quality. We'll get the runes for it, and then we'll look at our ascended stuff, our ascended rings, our amulet, our accessories, and so forth. We've got our splits there. I don't think that will carry over session to session, so it's sort of a fun thing I was looking at, but I don't know whether we can just stick with it. It might change. Scrapper would be a good idea since that's the hardest IMO to get raid worthy. I don't know why you say that. What's that set to Scrapper's run? But yeah, it's not really a speed run. It's just a way of timing ourselves. So, Guild Wars 2 speed runner, awesome games done quick. Yeah, maybe. What if we use the trinkets from Bitterfrost, but the other trinkets from PvP? Well, yeah, these are all ideas. These are all ideas. We'll have to see what you guys think about including PvP in something like this. I don't know whether people will like that. It could be kind of fun though. I mean, it's EU. So yeah. Anyway, I need to reset the account first. So let's get talking. Let's get some discussion going. In fact, that's what we'll do. Okay, I'm going to run a straw poll straight away for this very first Zero to Hero. I want to hear your guys' opinions. Seasons won't always be running, okay? Ranked seasons. But you can queue ranked even off-season, right? But you wouldn't gain pips for that, would you? So they're not always running. So is it fair that in Zero to Hero we use that to get our gear? Is it fair? Maybe it is fair, because for a lot of the years, for a lot of the time through the year, the seasons will be running. And if at the end of the day, it gets you ready for raiding super quick by playing just a little bit of PvP, maybe we should do that. So I'm going to actually, I'm going to ask you guys that question. You're going to vote, okay? Right now, take a look at chat. You're going to vote on whether that is legal for this run. Is it okay to have people go into PvP to get ready for raids during ranked seasons where you can get that stuff really easily? Is it okay? Yes or no? All right? Very simple poll. Just vote if you don't like the idea of it because you think people will be snooty. Oh, I don't want a PvP. I just want a raid and all this kind of nonsense. Or you think it's wrong because sometimes the ranked seasons won't be going on. If you want to be a stick in the mud, you can vote yes or no, okay? I'm not going to vote on that. I'm not going to look at the results of that poll either for a while. Okay, so while that's going on, let's reset our account, okay? So we're gonna leave the guild hall. By the way, I did a bit more decorating in the guild hall. I built a giant ceiling so it feels more like a labyrinth, and I put these globes of whispers so you can't see the sky anywhere here at the entrance. And then the scribing stations. I built like this wall of trees back there again to try and obscure lines of sight a little bit more. So yeah, yes or no, basically. Yes would make this run way easier, I think. But it would be a little bit less true to life for people who try to get raid ready when a season isn't going on. But yeah, I did this as well. I built these little walls here. Which is kind of cool. I made some extra cuboids last night. We spent 500 gold more of guild funds on cuboids. So yeah. All right, okay. So let's get out of the guild hall and let's reset our account. We need to get rid of all the currencies in our wallet. We need to get rid of everything in our bank. And then we make our new character and we go along and the timer starts and we get to do it. PvP seasons and presumably the rewards for PvP seasons are going to be around for roughly half of every year going forwards. It doesn't matter even if you lose, you get a lot of pips, so you don't have to be good. So, I mean, the run is it about catering to people who hate PvP? Here's what you should be asking yourselves. Is someone being a snob about PvP? It's kind of like these World versus World people that piss me off. And they're like, oh, I refuse to do anything but World versus World. ArenaNet cater to my every whim, all right? Me. I refuse to play any other part of the game that you've been developing. It's kind of like, I feel quite similarly about this as well, right? Like, if you want to get raid ready as fast as possible, surely you're going to do everything you can, which would include PvP, no? Do we cater our run to people who want to be raid ready as fast as possible, but also aren't going to put in the effort to get out of their comfort zone just a little bit? Like, what do we, how do we treat that? Is it fair that we cater to those people? I've never felt like it. Personally, I would be voting yes on this, but don't let, my opinion isn't the important one. What's important is that the majority wins here. So that's the main thing I care about. You know, I've always felt a bit weird about that. Yes, because this isn't a casual 30-minute per day game played raid ready guide. This is getting raid ready as fast as possible. Well, some of it will be sort of daily, because a lot of it's going to be daily berry gathering on a single character. So the rules of this, guys, are we're going to treat it like it's our one and only character on the account, right? We're gonna cater to the lowest common denominator, so the least amount of criticism can come in on this. So I'm only going to be able to gather berries once per day. So when we get to the berry point, it's going to take a few days to do it, but our playtime on the character will be very, very, very low. Ultimately, by the end of the run, it's the /age on the character that I'm interested in. I've tried to sell too many things too quickly, is that what it's saying? Just withdraw this stuff here. Look at all these fine crafting mats we got. That's mental, from the previous run. Maybe I've been gathering these from elsewhere. I'm going to take a peek at the poll. Let's see how the poll's doing. I'm quite interested in this. Oh my god, wow. There's 1% in it. Oh, see, what do I do there? If the community is that divided on this topic, that's a lot more no's than I thought. People tell me, why are you so adamant about no? If you voted no, justify the no to me and to everyone around you, because you can manipulate the opinions of those around you. Wow, this is crazy. So what? Because this is a sort of account that doesn't play much, they've put the error up for me. You've placed too many sell orders. I don't get this on my main account. Are we going to go after the elite specialization weapons? I don't know. We're going to go for the easiest weapon we can, which would be the PvP weapon, I think, unless you guys vote no. If you vote no and you force me out of PvP, you extend the length of the run by quite a bit, and we have to get a different weapon somewhere else. And all of a sudden, it gets a bit harder. I am of the impression... People are saying that these new season rewards are, like, really, really, really quick. So... No, look, this isn't about a challenge, guys. Don't misunderstand what this is. This isn't about a challenge. This is a sincere sort of look at, okay, how quickly can you get ready for raiding? How judgmental should the community be about the bar to be raid ready, right? Like, that's what it should be about. It should be an unbiased... Now, I am colored already. I am biased. I do think straight away that it's quite easy. But this should be, you know, as dare I say, scientific as possible. This should be a reasonable... This isn't about making it hard for wooden potatoes to get ready for raiding, because lol, it's not that. It's... Okay, let's have this as a bit of a community resource even, right? Speaking of community resources, if you go to the Wooden Potatoes subreddit right now, there's some new lore from DevPost, where we have to translate some new Crichton, if you guys are interested. Alright, well, while that's going on, that's going to take ages, and we're just going to get a bunch more anyway. I need to go to a laurel vendor and spend all of our laurels here. Because we can't start with any of those. And we're probably going to use laurels for an amulet, at least. For PvP, the straw poll is for RVR or 5v5? RVR, I guess you mean World vs. World. No, it's 5v5. It's Conquest. It's structured PvP. World vs. World is like the neglected, sad child that hasn't really had any updates. But what if the guy plays during season, yet this didn't showcase the fastest way to get to raid level? Well, I mean, that's not so bad. If people vote no here, it would just be a matter of saying, okay, guys, it took me 200 hours to get raid ready, but I didn't PvP. If you're doing this and you want to PvP and the season's on, you can probably cut that down to like 70 hours. And we would just add that addendum in there. Do you know what I mean? That would just be added on. Simple as that. We go 62 heavy crafting bags to get rid of our laurels. And now we're gonna open those up as well. Hopefully I've got the space.
Nothing like the spoils of war.
I'm not gonna have the space, am I? Hold on. Let's just deposit everything. Now let's grab all of these. I do warn you, a fair amount of this stream at the start here is going to be resetting the account. which I wanted to prepare for before, but I've been doing other videos which ultimately are a bit more important to me than streams, so I've been doing that instead. But once we have reset it, the run will start today. It will start here in part 1, and what we'll do is we'll host the class straw poll pretty soon too. World versus World is like the neglected sad child. Well, it is. It is the neglected sad child. Who argues against that? Come on, like, really. Poor World vs. World. Don't get me wrong. I'm not happy that it's the neglected sad child, but it kind of is. Alright, let's withdraw. We're going to sell all this T6. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take all these funds. I'm going to buy flawless snowflakes with all the funds on this account. And then I'm going to... By the way, the money you're looking at on this account is the money that was left over from the previous challenge. So we currently have 68 gold on us, and it's just going to go up. 15, 16 coming in from the trading post here. That's just going to keep climbing, which is kind of interesting because we could have spent all of this on the back piece or something. Is that my dog? Is it a Labrador? Yeah, it's a black lab. It's not technically my dog. My younger brother moved out when he was very young, and he and his girlfriend of the time, who's now long gone, they got a dog, and he was a little puppy. I had at the same time my own family black lab, who died 2014 maybe. And when that Labrador died and my younger brother ended up moving somewhere else and blah blah blah, the new lab came to live at home, which was where I was when I recorded that potato. So I just sort of put it in the background. So it wasn't technically my dog, but it was a dog that I lived with, and a dog I very much love. I actually bought it some doggy mince pies for Christmas. It cost about £3 on Amazon. Cheeky. An excuse to wrap something else up. Makes it look like I've been a little bit more generous to people than I have when I bring this big pile of presents around. Turns out just some of it's dog treats. Thanks. I mostly want the money for the Winter State Essence thing. Where's the straw pile? Sorry, yeah, I'll rank it. I'll link it to you again. Oh, sorry, yeah, I'm on the results page. So you go. Go vote, guys. More votes, more votes. We're closing in on 200 so far. Yes is ever so slightly ahead by a 2% lead right now. If it really makes you feel funny that we might PvP on Zero to Hero, explain why. Now, I will say one thing, all right? For me personally, I sort of don't feel like... If you voted no on this, and it's just because you don't like PvPing, I sort of feel like that's a bit of a shitty justification. Maybe that's wrong of me, but I feel like that's a bit, yeah, narrow-minded. I mean, you can suck it up for a couple of... If what you want to do is raid, and you want to raid quickly, then, you know, suck it up and get out of your comfort zone for a second. You might find you do enjoy it. That's sort of what a lot of the game's built on, and that's where a lot of, you know, player retention comes from. So let's just keep withdrawing this stuff. Jeez, I got a lot more materials here than I thought. This is all from the other run? This is crazy. But if you don't like that I just said that, if you think, no, it is a good justification, let's talk about it. What do we get from PvP? From PvP, you can get a huge amount of stuff. You can even get pretty quick and easy ascended armor now from PvP, as far as I understand. Now, I've only played like 12 games of the season so far. I played my 10 placement matches and then 2 after that. So I've really played very, very, very little, and I really don't understand it yet. But apparently, you can get like weapons and armor and all kinds of stuff. Look at this, we've got another 50 gold coming in now. I feel like because seasons are not always available, and this might be a general look at how fast you can gear out, it might be better to exclude PvP. Also, PvP rewards might change from season to season. That's a good point as well. That both of those are good points, but especially the fact that they might change season to season. Has this account done any PvP? No, none for the season. If we did it on Zero to Hero, the count is in a place where it can. It's not played any placement matches. It's not got any pre-existing rating. It's a complete zero state. The only thing that would be annoying for me if we chose to PvP is Boots and I were thinking of maybe doing like a duo queue thing, and we were going to do it on this account. And so then I wouldn't be able to do it on this account, and I'd probably get another one, but that's fine. It's not a big problem. Jesus, we had some Deldrimor still. Jeez Louise. Another 5 gold right there. My God, there's a lot of stuff here. Well, hold on. Instead of arsing about with this for ages, let's just fill up our inventory. I've got another idea. Because look at all this. Look at all of this. This is mental. I remember there was a time where I accidentally deposited collectibles. Let's go on to our other character here, and let's just withdraw, right? So, Pole Dropper, this is the old Zero to Hero character. How many accounts do I have? Only the 2 main ones that both have Heart of Thorns right now. To be honest, I'm not really in a position to buy another one, but I would go to that length if that's what this was all about. What am I going to do with this gold? More cubes? No, flawless snowflakes. Not flawless. What do you mean? Yeah. Oh, sorry. Right. Yeah, maybe more cubes. Maybe. I do like the idea of getting more cubes. I'm surprised how quickly we ran out of them. Oh, he's already full. This is mental. All right. What if we make another mule? That's not going to work. What about Alpha Survivor? These are zombies, aren't they? These are zombie characters. Jesus Christ. All right. Well, maybe the zombies have got some space. Let's put some stuff on these zombie characters. Very pitiful reason, but I don't like watching PvP. That's my reason for voting no. Oh, dude, that's a bit... I think that's a bit wrong of you to do that. Oh, I don't want to watch it for the series, so let's screw the, you know, the objectivity of it based on what will be fun to watch. I admire the honesty, though. Zabazi says, what is Zero to Hero? Listen, you're watching a stream, and I've already answered that question. I can't answer that like every 10 minutes for new people that wander in. Go watch the YouTube video I put up. Type Zero to Hero Guild Wars 2 into YouTube for some of my previous videos on it. Or go back to the start of the stream momentarily, and you'll get... There are countless descriptions out there. Oh, he doesn't even have much space. But we can buy bags, right? We can buy... From the TP, we can just pick up a couple of these. Slots. So if I go like some 18 slot bags, they're not so costly, right? 2 gold each. And how many slots do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. That we can delete in a second. Well, hold on. Transportation charges. Use all of those. And drop that in there. Actually, we could just bin that, can't we? There we go. So we can go 1, 2, 3, 4 slots here. Spend 11 gold to get through this quickly. Yeah, I might as well buy the bags. I agree with you. They're Chaos Phoenix. I agree with you completely. There we go. Accountancy waypoint. Equip.
Someday I will establish my prominence.
Okay, so now we got all this space, and we can just
My word.
heave all of this stuff out onto this zombie. One day, I'm just going to randomly delete this zombie, and it's going to be really sad. I'll probably sell the charged lodestone, the mystic coins, the ecto. I mean, look, we got 40 mystic coins from the last run. 40 mystic coins is not like a little bit of money. That's quite a lot of money.
How were your
You know, that other run might
progressing?
have been much closer to being finished than I realized. Still got space. We got all the food ingredients as well.
Everything has a
You know, we
place
could
in the
just
Eternal Alchemy.
ignore that the food ingredients exist as a part of the run. We could just not pull those out, which might be a nice idea.
My word.
What about all this stuff here? I'm going to withdraw this
My
stuff
ears, how
so
are
that
you?
the guy gets a bank. Oh, these are... those are trinkets for the other character. That's a bit annoying. We have 10 level ups from the other character. This is all stuff we were collecting from before. You guys will recall that the previous Zero to Hero stalled majorly at... so that's good. Look, food, guys, is just not going to be a part of the run. It doesn't matter. Food doesn't matter at all. We're not going to be earning money on it anyway. So that's fine. Now I just need to buy...
Everything has a
I need
place in
to
the
sink all this
Eternal
money into
Alchemy.
flawless snowflakes. Currencies. With 0 on all the dungeons, which is the stuff that's relevant. I can sap this out at a later
How are
date
your
for the Heart of
endeavours
Thorns
progressing?
currencies, which is fine. Fractal relics I can sap out at a later date. None of that's going to be relevant for anything. Karma isn't relevant either. All we have to do is just spend this 133 gold now. So let's quickly nip back onto Goat Dropper, who does have some space to pick up the flawless snowflakes to mail them to my main account. Actually, let's do that on Alpha Zombie because he's probably got a little bit more space. And there we go. So Banana Phone says this: if the point is to show new players or noobs how fast you can be raid ready in Guild Wars 2, I don't think ranked PvP should be a part of it, as I don't think it's something new players would jump straight into. If their main goal is to be good at PvE, I try to look at it from the perspective of someone whose sole focus is to be good and ready for PvE, not PvP. The main bulk of the player base isn't playing PvP, and certainly not for the rewards. You know, Banana Phone, I'm not sure how much I agree with what you said there, but you did make me think of something that I do agree with a lot. And that's, you guys should think about this. You actually shouldn't be able to play ranked until you get to rank 20. And, I don't know what rank this account is, but I'm pretty sure it's over 20. Oh, no, I'm a rabbit. I'm rank 16. Well, no, I'm not rank 16. What am I? I'm ranked, like... I played one game this year. It was an unranked game that I won on Battle of Champions Dusk. I don't know when or why I did that. I've played a total of one Ranger game ever on this account. One Ranger game, that's all. So I would actually have to not just play... if we go with the PvP route, it suddenly is a lot less lucrative. Because we have to get to rank 20 first. And I don't know how hard that is. And then ranked play opens. I'm rank 4, am I? So that's something as well. Maybe that'll bolster up the nose. I actually think if the community's divided on it, I should say no to it, to be honest. I feel like it should be an overwhelming yes for this to be a smart thing to do. And it's not an overwhelming yes. So we might have to cut PvP out. Which I don't begrudge too badly. Flawless Snowflake. The fact that the rewards might change is a very strong argument. Buy all of this. Bye, 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 bye. Rank 4 is good enough. Need to grind rank 20 still. See, the fact I need to get rank 20 first, for me, is more of a reason to not do PvP. But for some of you guys, it might be a reason to do PvP. Oh, shit. I'm on current buyers. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to get these. Because now you guys might think, oh, it's a bit harder. Some of you might be voting no just because you want this to be hard for me. So there we go. So now we've got 20 silver more. What costs 43 copper on the TP? What the... I can go to a vendor or something for that. Okay, Flawless Snowflakes. Where's my awesome guild leader? This fellow here. Send mail. I can only send like 2, right? Before it caps me. Look, I'm seeing this is the other side of what we did before. This is what everyone was doing on that previous stream. Lovely people. Oh, you have to keep right-clicking me, do you? Send mail. Suppose I don't have to drag and drop, right? I can just do that. Send mail. I think after this third one, I'm actually going to get caps, so... Mail. Yeah, excessive messaging. All right, okay. Well, so look, we're basically reset now, guys. Once I spend that little bit more gold and get that done. So, I think time has come to decide on the PvP. And I think, so current votes are with almost 300 of you having cast. It's 119 to, all right, it's 49% to 51%. So yes is actually winning at the moment, but this is one of those things, guys. I think that because there are so many no's, I think we have to say no. Even though yes won. I think that this is like, it should be an overwhelming yes to be a clear cut. I don't want to do anything that's not clear cut. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to do anything that half of the people who watch this series now are going to be like, oh, that's not on. All right? And I don't think that streak goes both ways. I think if we cut PvP out, it still has a lot of value. But if we do PvP and half of it, and 50% of people disagree with doing PvP, I think that's a bad idea. Yeah, almost Brexit level, right? Except we're going to be intelligent about this, and we're going to say that it needs to be a large majority, not just a majority. You voted yes, and you actually agree. So WP is the US Electoral College. Oh god, WP has that giant dog captured you. Do PvP, poll dropper version 2.0. Yeah, I know, I'm going against the poll again. I'm going against the poll. But guys, seriously, it's like I've said before, like sometimes, you know, if I come up with like a controversial idea and about any kind of thing that I want to see with Guild Wars 2 and only half of the people agree with me, that's a terrible result, right? If 50% of all players wouldn't like the thing, it's not good. Is it worth it to buy Heartthrones now for $50 or wait for it to go on sale and continue playing free to play? Personally, I think you should just buy it at full price. And I don't say that because I would hope you click my link. I just think that they do sales that infrequently that I wouldn't bother waiting for a sale. Plus, I think it's unhealthy for the overall game to think that people only come in when sales are going on. I actually think the sales are generally quite damaging ideas for the way that this business model operates, but what the fuck do I know? So, yeah, I don't know, really. I would probably just get it. Make progression great again. So there we go. And yeah, there's a link in the stream below if you want to spend $50 on Guild Wars 2. All right, so yeah, I think we'll do that. I think we will ignore PvP for this one, guys. I think we'll treat it with the berries, which already is a massive speed up. Let's be real here. So that's good. And now comes the time to pick the class, the much more interesting vote. So get ready, guys. Get back into Twitch chat if you haven't seen, because there will be a link in a second for this big straw poll. This will define a huge amount of this stream, okay? A huge amount of this stream. So you get to vote on what character we play, okay? Now, depending on who you pick, will affect the speed a lot. So, Chronomancer, I think, is the biggest topic we need to start off with. And I kind of need to explain to you guys. Chronomancer, let's go back to the big face cam here, right? Chronomancer is currently, with the current meta, okay? And as we saw with the previous run, current meta may be well out of the window by the time this is done. But currently speaking, Chronomancer is in high demand. We saw some nerfs recently that meant a lot of groups are now running mirror comps, they're running double chronos, there weren't many chronos around, and a lot of raiding statics have had problems getting as many chronos as they can. So a lot of people have gone through expressly what this series is all about. This series is about, oh, you can raid with us, but you need a certain class, so come on along, right? But you're going to have to level that new class up, and you're going to have to sort that new class out with gear. Okay, and Chronomancer is the epitome of that right now, because everyone wants Chronomancers and there weren't many. However, something to consider about Chronomancer is it's also probably the slowest leveler in all of Guild Wars 2. Leveling a Mesmer is agony. Leveling a Mesmer is slow, okay? So in one respect, Chronomancer is very good for the times right now, because it's in high demand and lots of people have gone through it. But in another sense, Chronomancer is quite terrible because the phase where we're getting to level 80 is going to go much slower than some of the other classes would otherwise. So you've got to consider that if you're thinking about Chronomancer. Last time we did, and now I want to talk about Thief. Last time we did this, I was really keen on Thief. Thief had basically no place. It was well understood or agreed on in raiding. It was stupidly so, and I even said this back then as well, by the way, because I think they've all had a place and they've all been viable, but whatever, right? Like, the bar is not that high. But Thief, we actually did vote for. Now, Thief is interesting because if the idea of this challenge, guys, is to show how quickly you can get raid ready, Thief is the best to pick because Thief does the leveling fast. Contrary to Chronomancer, insanely fast. Thief probably hits level 80 quicker than anyone else because Thief can move really fast. It can tag for bonus mob XP really fast. Thief is quite incredible at pushing the levels up quickly. It will roam around the world. It will get its experience fast. Much faster, I think, than many other classes in the game. So Thief is very good for that. Thief doesn't have a particular place in raids right now, but you can run Thieves, okay? The other thing you got to think about now, so that's the Chronomancer Thief duality. The other thing you want to think about is gear. So the previous one we ran, we picked a Druid. You might want to see Druid go through, okay? But when we picked Druid, that meant we were pushed into doing Magi's gear and stuff. If we picked Condi before, it made us think maybe we'd end up getting Sinister stuff from Living World Season 2. Largely speaking, because of the new trinkets and things, and they're all stats selectable with everything, I think we'll be fine. But this will determine the different gear we have. So, for example, Druid, what you have to think about is when I hit level 80 on a Druid, I needed gear that I could play while I was aiming for my eventual healing gear. I didn't want to run around doing all this stuff to get money in fractals and things with awful, you know, gear. I needed to get like middle gear, right? So we spent time getting Condi gear so that eventually we could get the heal gear. And then there's another question of weapons as well. Like, depending on the class we pick, we might need only one weapon. We might need 2, 3, 4 weapons. And the more ascended weapons we need, the longer the run will be, okay? So you want to think about all these things. And then also, I guess you can have your own selfish ambitions of thinking about your own enjoyment levels as you're watching. And, you know, I can't stop that. So yeah, I'm just buying a couple more snowflakes here, guys. So we're gonna really have a big ooh-ah over this. What class do we choose? Let's take more snowflakes. I'm just grabbing more snowflakes, then I'll type into the straw poll. And this is the big one, really. This is a huge vote that only gets to happen right here at the first stream. So make it count. Make your voice heard. Discuss in chat what you want to see and why. Convince other people. Look in chat at other opinions before you vote. I'm still suppressed by mailing. Jesus Christ, that's mental. Okay, all right. So straw poll. Here we go. What class do we go? I'll list the lights first. Do we go Elementalist? Do we go Mesmer? Or do we go Necromancer? Or do we maybe go Median Armor and we choose Thief? Or Ranger? Or, Christ, why am I forgetting? Or Engineer. Obviously, I'd forget that one. Or do we go Heavy for a Guardian, a Warrior, or perhaps a Revenant? I really think, before you get this link, guys, don't worry too much about something that has no use, okay? Like, if you want to see it on Scrapper, go for Scrapper. Just because it's not got much of a place at the moment, and it's kind of fiddly, and it's kind of, you know, annoying, and depending on the encounter, people will be even less likely to want to have one. Ignore all of that stuff. Just pick your class. Like, we got bogged down on that with Thief before, and I think that was a really bad idea. So yeah. All right, get ready. It's coming up in chat right now. The Ghost says, why not use a free-to-play account and we can just pay for it? Then none of your friends, contacts, guildies, no help from viewers, no unlocks, and you don't have to liquidate your own account. Well, I do have a free... well, I don't want Twitch to pay for that. No, it's a lovely sentiment, but I think... Alright, so there you go, guys. Get voting. We're going to go back to the gameplay here. And I'm going to send this mail now. Should be good. Christ almighty. Start with the partial successes. Come on, man. Partial success and I bought barely any. So annoying. Bye. Ah, we got a silver left over this time. That's annoying. Alright. And we'll be ready to go after this vote is cast, guys. We'll do a fastest finger first race thing. So people are saying Engineer, vote Guardian. Ranger is... Oh, Ranger's only at 6%. Yeah, I kind of anticipated Ranger to be quite low because we did see it on the previous attempt for this. So that's a bunch more snowflakes. Let me just blow this cache now on nothing. Let's run over here. Unyielding Aura says, I think the level 80 boost would be valid to use. Interesting idea, and it would really speed it up. But I'm going to say no to that immediately. I don't think it's a good idea. Oh, God, just give me a vendor that sells stuff. Because, again, the idea is... if you're in... This isn't for people totally new. The truth is, there is no one in that demographic. Okay, there is, like... Alright, we're going to have 1 copper at the end of this. Nobody dare complain about the 1 copper invalidating this run, alright? Nobody actually, hold on, let's see here. Can we... Is there something costing 1 copper on the TP? Let's see, shall we? Buy items. Price. Oh, 2 copper is the lowest? Really? So we can't afford it. 2 copper is the lowest thing. I never realized. That's funny. It's a cool little, like, Guild Wars 2 Mastermind question right there. What was I saying? You got a free key from the Yogg's Humble Bundle for Heroes Edition. Is the second account worth it? I think so, yeah. Just log in on it, get a shit ton of Mystic coins, get some good cash. T6 mats. You can just send the 1 copper to someone in a mail. Oh, that's true, yeah. The lucky person will be Corina Tenebris. That's the perk you get for being in Spud. Enjoy. He's going to return to sender, just you guys watch. 2 copper because of the tax. Ah, well, there you go. Come on, Mesmer was your main in Guild Wars 1. You owe us a Chrono. I'm actually really not excited about Chrono. If Chrono is what wins, I'm not very happy because Chrono is going to be a fucking pain in the ass level. And again, it's like... The leveling is not fun to watch. Leveling, it's just going to bog us down for ages. But, I mean, it would be true to life in the respect that the current meta right now asks for Chronos. And maybe since Bird Frenzy got a pretty substantive buff, it will be... I don't know what the quickest... it's just going to be annoying. Game music's kind of high, you think? Alright. Send it down a bit. Guardian's fun to watch, fun to play, and useful. Don't be such dicks, guys. Guardian.
Yeah.
AWP for someone starting new in Guild Wars after 6 years of inactivity. Is the 7-man Mesmer mercenary team the best, or better to use something else for completing campaigns? No, that's a flavor group. If you swapped like one of the Mesmers for Visions of Regret, if you swapped another one for a Soul Twister, if you yourself was a Save Yourselves assassin, spamming Death Blossom, you're suddenly getting to a pretty strong comp, but really that's just a flavor thing. I've had a lot of people requesting. It's really funny when a community shrinks as much as Guild Wars 1 has. It only takes one person to say something like, "Oh, look at this," and it's amazing how I've seen a shift. Like people think that it's like a build. It's really weird. It's not a build. It's just oh, what's going on here? What happened to our overlays? Oh, we've been on the wrong one. There you go. Let's get the splits back. Don't listen to WP. He's our slave. So yeah, it's not the best. It is pretty strong though. You really enjoy Thief and you're thinking about raiding. Are thieves viable at all? Every single thing is viable. A lot of people don't understand what viable means. Everything is viable. Listen, if people are clearing it in, you know, these ridiculous little challenge scenarios, I promise everything's viable. Raiding is like, I honestly think it's at least 65% the people knowing the mechanics than the rest of people know. And knowing mechanics and your rotations, if you just know those two things, honestly, any class is viable. Just maybe not stacking all of every class. I don't know. It's really... honestly, you'll be fine on any class. You can carry any class through. You'll go Sabway. I think the Mesmer's probably... if you're just playing casually, if you're trying to vanquish everything, it might be a bit harder. Anyway, Thief is just as good DPS as Ellie, but people prefer Ellie because Thief is unaffected by Alacrity. Absolutely. I think it depends. There's a large variance on Ellie's as well with Meteor RNG. Depending on the hitbox size. Living Story Episode 3 is locked behind a paywall for new players. What's my stance on this? Great question. It's 200 gems. I was thinking that if this becomes something we discuss a lot, we can we can earn 200 gems worth of gold in game, and we can add that onto our eventual time. But yeah, that's a very good point, Exact. And if we end up using Rising Flames as well, then we can add another 200 gems worth of gold on top of that. There's no such thing as a rotation in this game. Just press 1 through 0 and it's not on cooldown. I really hope that's a troll. I really hope that's a troll. I like to think that Junior Jake and Jesse Jurger, who said that, is a longbow ranger, because that's how most longbow rangers treat their skills. Which is why you see random knockbacks go all over the place all the time and just they stealth themselves for no reason. It's amazing. Okay, alright, so let's see. What class? I'm looking at the results now, guys. Okay, so Engineer is at the highest with 71 votes. I did not expect that. And Mesmer is coming in close at 65. Thief is a little lower. Thief is where my vote would have gone, but this is fine, Engineer. You guys like the idea of me playing the really off-meta thing, because before Thief was seen as the off-meta thing. I like playing NG. NG is an engaging class. It's a fun class. What gear would we run on NG? Would we be running Condi? We don't have to make that decision for a long time. Warden Alien, welcome, welcome. It's good to see you. Why all the Ranger hate? Is ArenaNet hating us enough not for your cruel potato? Because Rangers suck. By design, they suck. I don't mean that they're inefficient. I don't mean they are bad to run. I mean that they suck, that they are annoying, that they have design that is inherently infuriating to me. This is why I hate Rangers. How did we get Ascended Weapons last time? Yes, we got one from Super Adventure Box. We did. And then we hadn't made a decision on the other one. That was going to come after the back piece, but we got stuck on the back piece for ages. It was just a horrible run. I don't know. I honestly don't know whether I agree with that SAB weapon. If we're disagreeing with PvP on this run, the SAB weapon, definitely we should have disagreed with. You want a straw poll because you missed the link? Okay, 1 second. vote away, my friends. I'll give it like maybe 5 more minutes for this, and then we will we'll get it started. So we have leaked the account of pretty much everything that's relevant, as far as I can see, except maybe fractal relics. We might have to leak those later, but certainly not for the leveling period. Guild Wars 1 Ranger was dash shit. I loved Rangers in Guild Wars 1, I must admit. The birth of my hate on Rangers is mostly fighting them in PvP that I hate. And the birth of it comes from everyone running dogs, wolves and stuff, where they would get stupid game-winning knockdowns based on pure luck and then pretend it was skill. And it still happens to this day, and it really winds me up. I fundamentally disagree with any hard CC that plays on an auto for a pet that has no explicit control. And don't tell me, oh, I can swap and then trigger the knockdown. Bollocks. For every one person that's done that and scored a knockdown on a wolf, there's been about 50 that have happened by noobs that wasn't intentional. Do I own Outlast? And if I don't, would I like to play it, for example, with Matt? You'll send me the key. I do own it already, actually. I'm not sure whether I'd like to play it, though. I'm sorry. Maybe Halloween would have been a good time for that. Power doesn't get accepted in pugs. Would doing 0 to hero for Guild Wars 1 be something I do? No, I'm afraid that I feel very much complete with Guild Wars 1. I feel, you know, even playing through Nightfall, it felt a bit weird to me that it's like I'm just doing the same thing I did 4 years ago. It would feel a bit regressive to me. I think I've really pushed Guild Wars 1 to my limit as a content creator and the things that I did with it. I think that, you know, what I did in Prophecies was very extreme and was really only possible at a time where I was just starting out and I have a lot of enthusiasm. You find a lot of content creators start out with absurd amounts of enthusiasm, and separating the men from the boys is how quickly that enthusiasm goes away. And mine has definitely waned, by the way, for like, I could never pull off a project like that Guild Wars 1 Prophecies project again. Meta Battle says NG with Viper and a few Sinisters. Yeah, so Condi NG, which is a bit questionable. But guys, all right, so we'll give it 1 more minute. If you want Mesmer to beat Engineer, if you want to see that pain in the ass leveling, we're basically in a fight here between something no one's asking for in raids, really, and something everyone's asking for in raids with the current meta. But the meta will have shifted by the time this is over. Mark my words, the meta will have shifted. So this entire discussion is a bit weird, but I will honor this, whatever it is. If it doesn't have to be by a vast majority, whatever it is. There is a 10-vote difference between NG and Mesmer right now. Would I play Guild Wars 1 in my free time again? Sort of, yeah. I do like the build comp thing. I do like the whole mercenary thing. And I like it when I go back in there and I get nostalgic. And I like it when I do a Guild Wars 2 video that calls for a bit of Guild Wars 1 footage. And I've never uninstalled it. I have no intention to do that. You need Nightfall back on the channel. Flaganti, come on, man. Don't spam that. Yep, well, the votes are pouring in, but that 10 gap's still there. Engineer is still winning by 10 votes. So, we'll do the countdown timer, and I will see, all right? We're going to do countdown, and we will, and at the end... oh my god, what's the show? I forgot it. No, it's just called... Here we go. The winner is Engineer. The winner is Engineer. The gap closed ever so... no, the gap lengthened. The gap lengthened by another 3 votes. 13 votes ahead of anything else. It looks like 0 to Hero 202 hero is going to be on an NG. Interesting. Okay. NG I would sort of put as a middle ground of leveling speed, probably. Did you just say, what's the show to the one with the countdown timer? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. There's a moment in one of the Ricky Gervais XFM shows where Carl Pilkington's like, what are the characters in Gremlins called? What are they called? It is so hilarious. And everyone's like, come on, you know what they're called. Think about it for a second. All right, NG it is, guys. NG it is. Now, I will allow a couple of you to play with me if you want to do this at the same time. We can run around together. Not too crazy, though. I don't want any big Zerg that would, you know, speed up leveling more than any regular player would have. Those rules are the same as before. But, yeah, people are welcome to come along if they like, as long as it's within moderation. The last thing to do is to pick a race. So we're going to do this fastest finger first. What's going to happen, guys, is I'm going to give you a code, like, for example, 78. The first person to type into Twitch chat 78 and then a race, like 78 Sylvari, 78 Asura, 78 human, the first person to get there, they pick the race, okay? So it's fastest finger first. You're all competing on that one. If you want to get fastest finger first, I would suggest you press F5 and refresh the stream right now. Put the stream to low quality so that the delay is as little as possible. Type your option out first, and then the second you hear me say the code, you type it in and press enter, okay? As fast as possible, all right? So I'll give you guys a second to do that, but I really don't think this matters too much. It's just more of an aesthetic choice here, really. And the very, very, very early leveling and the first mission we do. Probably the fastest in the game is Asura, but, I mean, this isn't going to come down to seconds. This is a very long-term project we've got going on here, okay? The code is not 78, though. That was an example. 78 Janthir. Jesus. All right. I mean, you could take a pot shot and see if you get it early. All right, so here we go. What race do we pick, guys? Get ready. The code is 11 legs 11. 11 legs 11. Bingo! I got bingo! Ah, bingo! I'm excited. This should be fun. How long did all this prep take us? An hour. 11 Norn from Benji. Okay, and once again, since you guys know how it works, give me a gender. Don't assume the gender, because we're not sure what it will be. God, I made myself cringe there. The next code for the gender is 55. 2 5s, 55. Yeah, moments like this, you realize how much delay is built up for you if you haven't pressed refresh. 55 female from Chicken. We already picked this, which is going to be an engineer. Big or small? 33. Tell me big or small? 33. First person to say 33 and then big or small. Okay, and we'll max or min. You just felt sorry for the Norn as no one plays them, let alone an engineer one. Screw you people in the UK. I don't think it works that way. 33 big from Mr. Fluffkins. Okay, big old Norny lady. 44 goggles, monocle, or multi-tool pack. 44 left, middle, or right. Multi-tool pack, goggles, or monocle. 44. We'll do it the whole way. What did someone say there? Big tits for a small. 44. Oh god, it's coming. Monocle. 44 monocle. Okay. Do we go ferocity, dignity, or charm? That's going to be 57. 57. Charm, dignity, or ferocity. 57. She looks so sad. She does look sad. You're right. She looks terrified. She looks very upset. 57. Which personality type? I mean, this is so redundant. It means nothing now. 57 charm. Okay. Okay, for the personal story, I don't know whether we'll actually end up doing this, but 98 mists, spirits, or ancient foes. Mists, spirits, or ancient foes, 98. This is EU. This is going to be an EU series. 98. Mist, spirit, or foes. Mid 98. Someone said, oh no, 98 right came first, so that's the mist. Intuition with the mist. Okay, and then last of all, let's do left, right, middle. So last of all, we got 34 is the code. Left, right, or middle. Did we get blacked out? Left. Did we get in a fight? Middle. Or did we lose an heirloom? Right. What did I say for that? 35. If you say the number before you say the rest of the options, it will be the first you mention. Oh, good point. 34, second option. Okay, we got in a fight. And so, bear, snow leopard, wolf, or raven. Bear, snow leopard, wolf, or raven. And the code for this last one is 41. Bear, snow leopard, wolf, or raven. 41. Why do people keep voting Norn? Yeah, didn't we have Norn on the previous one? Weren't we a Norn druid? Norn engineer feels so weird to me as well. 41 raven. Okay, so raven it is. And okay, so our name. Oh god, this one. Oh god. Okay. Okay, so just so that you guys know, some of the names we've had on challenge streams before have been Pole Dropper, Goat Dropper, Handy Face. What have some other ones been? We've had some good ones. Okay, so one of you gets to pick the name for this character. Again, it's going to be fastest finger first. Okay. So, we're going to think about what the name might be. Okay, so we're a female engineer Norn of Raven with a periscope. Okay? So, what is the name going to be? I'll give you guys a second. Type one out in chat, and then I'll give you the code. Again, refresh if you want a good shot at this. Get ready, okay? So, don't type the name just yet. Just get it ready, and then type the numbers and press enter as fast as you can when you're here. Alright? So, here we go. If I might be banned for the name, I'm not going to pick it. I'll do the next one, all right? Just to cover myself there a little bit, all right? So here we go. What's the name going to be? The code for this is going to be a 3-digit code as well, all right? The 3-digit code. And the code is going to be 951. 951, what do we have? What do we have? What do we have? Let's see what Twitch came up with for this run here. 951. I like people just guessing, just hoping. Look at the 65s coming in there. 951 Harambe. I'm sure that's taken. I'll try. Harambe's taken. Let me. Okay, God, the scrolling. All right, stop. Jesus Christ. 951. Oh, actually, Harambe wasn't first. I almost. No, Harambe was first. McPoop Butt. I think I might get. Would I get banned for McPoop Butt? McPoop Butt it is! McPoop Butt goes through.
I am Norn, hunter of the wild, born of the free and rugged Shiverpeak Mountains. In the far north.
Oh my god. Oh, I messed it up. There was someone above McPoop Butt.
Jormag, a dragon of frost and snow. The dragon broke our pride, but it did not break our spirit. In our last hour, we heard the voices of 4 of the spirits of the wild: bear, raven, snow leopard, wolf. They called us south. And claimed new hunting grounds. Some say we should not fight Jormag. I say the greatest risk is to wager nothing at all. One day, a hero will lead us home, and we will break the dragon's icy grip. Victory, like any prey, must be hunted. I trust my instincts, the voice of my soul, to guide the way. Like my ancestors before me, I seek glory. One day, I will take my place among the heroes of the Norn. The spirits of the wild whisper their secrets to my heart. I trust in fate and follow where instinct guides me, and it has never led me wrong. I am still untested, but already my deeds have earned me friendship and great respect. Each year, a great hunt is called in Holbrook. Only the best among us are invited to participate. With bravery and a little good fortune, I will collect trophies to prove my worth. Then I will drink and boast of my victories. I accept this challenge. I relish it. Come, danger. Come, adventure. In the lodges and halls of my people, fortune and the spirits will smile upon my legend. This is my story.
Well, there we go. McPoop butt. McPoop butt. This is me. Alright, and the timer begins. Whew. Okay, so the splits are going now. I'm not quite sure how the splits will work, by the way, because I don't think it saves between... I don't think it saves between sessions, so I sort of have to manually remember or make a note of where it is each time, which is kind of lame. That was really weird that I couldn't talk there as well to that person. But we'll see how that goes. Yes, if you want to play with me, you're more than welcome to. My account name right now is Issa1865. But if we get too big of a Zerg, I will say no to it, and we won't be doing that. So if you guys want to make your own Zeros to Heroes with McPoop butt, it's so immature. It's so bad, actually. If you want to, though, you're welcome to run along with me. You wish the player intro hit onto the race's history more, as opposed to my ferocity and my friends. Yeah, I know. There's a lot that's bad about it. We're not gonna have to deal with it too much, though. This is about the most I think we'll be interfacing with a personal story here. So very quickly, I'm gonna be going to the guild hall to get a 10% experience boost. We're gonna try and get some food that will help us quite quickly as well. And then I think the goal realistically should just be to try and get map completion or level generally, killing a lot of bonus mobs. Now, what map do you guys think is the fastest for leveling on? What do you think it is? I think maybe Metrica's pretty quick. Does anybody actually know which is the fastest map? And if you do know, don't just type it in chat. Justify what you've said and why. So if you're going to say Metrica, say why. I've always had a general feeling that Metrica might be the fastest, but I'm not entirely sure. There we go. We're going to accompany Air on her great hunt now. Where's the stairs? Oh, they're over here. No worries about getting banned for this name. They're a lot more lax. It's up to you if you want to run around with it. Yeah, I mean, I don't really care. It's only a challenge character in here. It's not like I'm actually going to be playing this. It's not like this is my real identity as a part of Guild Wars 2. Oh, damn it. The door's... Oh. Well, we're already getting screwed here. By the way, I'm so sorry. I've been missing subs and stuff so far on this stream. Let me just have a look here. Welcome Flooduff to Fluff. Welcome 100% Magic Find. Welcome God and Monster. Welcome Nigo372. Welcome Derveg. Welcome Animaniac 2. Oh, those people were yesterday though. They were here yesterday. So yeah, welcome guys. Sorry about that. Alright. Metrica is fast and easy, many players all the time. Do you think that's what it is? Need to test our mic for a bit here. Metrica isn't as highly populated as Queensdale, so you're more likely to get bonus XP, plus it has an easy path to follow. Queensdale or Caledon Forest, I feel. Human's the most used race, so a lot of people doing that map to help, but Caledon is a very small vertical map that's easy to navigate and run around. Personal story for skills. Not sure about that. How was the immature prick that came up with that uninspired name? Well, you sound legitimately angry. Did you call him... I always felt like Plains of Ashford is pretty fast. There's lots of events like the Harp and Ghost event with tons of mob spawn for you to kill on a regular basis. We did that on our previous run, actually, and it wasn't that good because the event spawned kind of rarely. McPoopbutt is better cosplay, Sabbather, Magitech set, Inquest, Shoulders, Sneak Thief Gloves, let's go. Is that all required for the end of the challenge? Is it? So the lottery, guys, I'll take this second just to plug that. 600 gold. Are you watching this stream? Do you want 600 gold? Well, if you have a look in chat, you can click a link, hopefully if one of the mods posted it, and you can get yourself a ticket for the lottery, and you can win a massive amount of money. That's going to be drawn on Christmas. So, do you want to be, you know, close to $1,000 up? Well, maybe you can be. 600 gold. Let's keep seeing that climb. Chat demands you turn on the option to always see your own name. How do we do that? Is that always show my own name? Okay. I will squad up, guys. Don't worry about parties. I think we can squad up, can't we? Can I squad up? Hopefully we can. Stop with the commands to enter the lottery. Nightbot's messing something up. Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, the lottery's pretty good. This is our 3rd lottery. I'm hoping it reaches the heights of the other ones. I mean, it's a Christmas one too. So yeah. We need to do something to fix that up at some point. That'll be good. So what I'm thinking for build is we'll get speedy kits as fast as possible, so we can rush around a bit. I'm not sure what else we can do to really speed up aside from that. You want to make a Zero to Hero heavy class? Should I pick Warrior or Rev? Warrior has a much bigger place, and likely, because they're unlikely to nerf Phalanx strength, will always have a stronger place, probably. So we go 5 minutes to complete that. Now, as well, I'm probably going to preserve all the money we get from all of this, as much as possible. So again, what should we do? Should we go to Metrica then? Let's try Metrica. Very quickly, though. This heart's very easy to get. The Vista's easy to get. The Point of Interest is easy to get. Well, hold on. Before all of that, let's pick the Spud Club. Let's knock ourselves in here. Wooden Potatoes, restart Nightbot. This is the 4th time. How do I restart Nightbot? How do you want me to do that? Let's let all the snow load in. Nip over to the tavern. How do you get an invite for Spud Club? Well, we're full at the moment, and everyone's getting kicked on New Year's Day, so I'm sort of reining the invites in for a bit at the moment. So yeah, XP gain, I think, has got to be the best one here, right? It's got to be. So XP gain. So we have 10% faster experience gain now, which is nice. Nice little bonus. All right, well, guys, tell me to do that after the stream. I can't just stop in the middle of the stream to do that. So we'll do that afterwards. I'll talk to you in event planning to see what that is that's going on there. All right. So yeah, back to over here. Yeah, sorry, people. By the way, somebody messaged me today. They were like, "Hi." I very rarely, ignore people. I was busy setting up the stream. I think it was today anyway. Someone messaged me saying, "Oh, WP, I got kicked. Why? I don't understand why I got kicked." It's like, if you don't understand why you got kicked, then you obviously paid no fucking attention to anything while you were in the guild in the first place. And it's hardly going to make me more likely to want to bring you back in. You got kicked because you're inactive. That's the only reason people get kicked. If you join the guild, you don't contribute for anything, and then you go offline and you don't log in and you don't play, you get kicked when someone else asks for an invite. That's the way it's always worked. If you don't even know that, right, then you've clearly been so disinterested, so inattentive, so you probably haven't looked at the Discord, you've not read anything about the guild. It doesn't help your case to get back in, even if you put an unhappy, sad face with it. All right. Am I playing on an account that is mastery level 1? I think we're mastery level 3 because we got gliding and I can't actually reset that, but that's not a problem. It's not gonna really matter. I think we got that through doing a couple of fractals. Leyline gliding is a potential thing that we will have to go for. I died from being alone. Your dead leaves. Okay. Place egg back in the roost. See, this is fast if the Raven thing's up. The riddle is up. Oh yeah, okay, so create squads. Hey, oh, it's only a raid squad I can do. So I can't have a wow, I just totally winged it on that. I didn't even read, I just clicked and we got it right, luckily. WP would just wants to receive a I totally understand why I got kicked type of message for once in his life. Oh, I get those too, to be fair. Some people are like, yeah, hey, sorry, I went on holiday. Can I get an invite back? And I'm always like, yeah, that's fine. So yeah, I guess we will party if you want. If somebody wants to join on my party for this, then we can do it that way. Let's just do more Raven statues, I suppose. Here we go, the riddles are up. I'm beautiful in the winter sun, but brutal to the touch. I'm a danger overhead and underfoot. You are ice. Oh my god, the Planet Earth Mountains episode was so incredible. I come for all who grow, crawl, and walk. Oh, you're death. Okay. Let's try this one over here. I erode rock, break bodies, and consume cities. Your water. That riddle always makes me think of Titanic when I read it. Titanic's a great movie. James Cameron's Titanic. It's a great movie. Oh, there you go. That person squatted up, so you can join on that. So we can glide over here. Oh, no, guys. We've already cheated. The true zero wouldn't be able to glide yet. We've cheated. Cheated a single jump. Rip the run's integrity within the first 9 minutes. Okay, alright, where else do we go? So, well, let's stay and finish the riddles. Looks like the event's scaled, sadly, a bit, because people are around, and it's taken a bit longer to finish. But that's fine. Let's grab this, place an egg. Oh, sorry. Okay, ravens, please. Do I not even need to hold eggs to do that? I blind hunters, your darkness. Walk in wisdom, thank you. You move without legs, you push without arms, you're the wind. You feast on air but drink no water. You have eyes of your own, but without me you are blind. You're fire. I wanted to say fire, but then I got a bit weirded out. With me you never know reason. I will blind you. Your rage. Alright. I kind of want to just leave them to it now. We've answered every single one, I think, there. Multiple Spud guilds means that some people would have to give up the guild hall, and nobody wants to give up the full guild hall. Yeah, that's the thing. People have contributed for that hall. No one individual has contributed for the entire hall, so no one individual can lay claim to, oh, I had to, you know. But people wouldn't want to give that up. And also, it fractures the community. I mean, we sort of have the Discord for a central hub, but let's face it, a big reason why people want to be in Spud is to be in the same guild as me, and one of them I would be repping far less frequently, and you wouldn't see my messages and stuff, and it would just be a bit weird. It's a big thing we went through, but in the end, we decided not to go for it. Unless we could have had a unified chat, I wasn't interested. I continue to not be. Can you guys hear the game loud enough? It's not too quiet, right? What weapons do we need for raiding on this character? I know there isn't an elite collection for a pistol. Oh, that's an interesting point. What weapons do we go? Do we? It is pistol if we're doing Condi, correct? Ooh, almost died there. That was mental. It is Condi, right? So it's a Condi pistol. Is it double pistol? Yes, I'm going to kick Patreon people. Patreon people can... everyone will get kicked. And they can request a re-invite. Everyone's getting kicked. Patreon is no exception. In fact, I'm going to be doing... the guild's going to run a bit differently after New Year's, guys. Everyone's getting kicked. And after that, there's going to be a 3-day period whereby you can request a re-invite and your old rank will be reinstated. If you're not interested in this enough in the Spud Club, if you've not been paying attention up to New Year to the fact this is happening... if you've been that inactive or that disinterested, I sort of don't care. And after 3 days, you're going to be treated like a totally new person again, and you'll have to pay for your ranks or whatever. The guild's going to work differently when it comes back. We're going to like raise the bar for the people who are in there. I don't like that we have 500 people and only 2 show up for a world boss. So it's going to be a bit more stricter on who we allow in, because at the end of the day, we can afford to be more picky. It doesn't have to be everyone and everyone, which is how we treated the guild for a year. So we're going to try and change that up a bit. I'm going to write up a big Google Doc describing all of these changes you'll be able to see from Discord. Hopefully tonight, maybe tomorrow. But it will go up, so you guys will understand. But yeah, everyone's getting kicked, and the guild's going to be a bit different. We're going to ask for people to join only if they're actually interested in having it as a primary, only if they're interested in actually coming to events and stuff like that. And that's why we're going to run the guild, because it's kind of shitty at the moment that we've got 500 out of 500, and I think probably 200 to 300 of the people in this guild don't even care that much. They joined ages ago, and they never rep, they don't talk enough, and so on. So we're going to try and raise that bar. Since we can't open a second branch, the best thing we can do is take the 500 people who are currently in the guild and make them more worthwhile members, and be a bit more discriminatory about who we join. We've done the happy-go-lucky, everyone comes in, everyone gets kicked thing for a year now. Now we're going to try something a bit different. So yeah. Am I running Reshade? I am indeed. Very, very slight. I think I'm just using a little bit of curves. That's all. A lot of the other stuff's been disabled. What else can I do to do this? Can I hit a tree? Got a bear trap over there. Oh, what mini should we go, guys? Let's have a look at minis. I have 3. First person to tell me the mini. The mini Fire Imp, the mini White Mower, or mini Queen Jenna. Which one should we rep for this Zero to Hero Challenge extravaganza? First person to tell me. Fastest finger first, 46. Give me the code and then one of those. Oh, look at the player customization we got going on here. It's excellent, isn't it? Did we get credit for that event finishing yet? I hope we did. It's with a code, guys. It's with a code. 46 min Queen Jenna. Alright, well, Queen Jenna is the classiest of them all, of course. There you go. And then the same for the outfit. Okay, so what outfit should we wear? Should we be a Shadow Assassin? Looks like this. Should we be a Royal Guard? Looks like this. A Jungle Explorer? Looks like this. Or a Cook? Looks like this. So which one should we be? These are the three that we have. The code for that will be 71. 71, Royal, Shadow Assassin, Royal Guard, Jungle Explorer, or Cook. What's this rip, sorry? The imp would have been nice, yes. 71 Explorer was the first one, so there you go. 71 Explorer. I think that was the first one. Yep. Good job, Stupid Geek 314. So yeah, and I am quite sincere about that. I think one of the main things is right now with the guild, when the guild comes back, what we'll do is, right now people join and then they pay what they want for a rank so that they don't get kicked after a single day. And what happens is about 70 to 80% of everyone who joins Spud at the moment immediately donate for the rank so that they don't get kicked, and then they go off and they be inactive or whatever. I'm thinking of to just have that extra loop to make sure that the people who are joining the guild are the people who are actually invested in joining the guild. I'm thinking of lowering that, so it would be you pay what you want to get in and be a Sprout, and then Spud is for people who actually come to our events, and it spuds up who can decorate and so on. So in this way, it's a slight tweak. We can see who is actually more interested than just doing like a one-off payment and then sticking about forever. It's and the bar already, the only people who will come in will be those more interested in being in because they're being asked to pay immediately, right? So we can be a bit more discerning. We'll have less churn. We'll have and less churn is good. Right now, tons of people come in, tons of people get kicked, and we don't like develop anything of a core. So that's like the other main change after the guild is moved over. But we're also going to start running events, like bi-weekly big events that will become videos and people will want to come to because they're going to be in a video. And if it's a crappy video, I'll put it up on Wooden Potatoes too. If it's a good video, it will go, which hopefully all of them will be, it will go on the main channel. And then more people will see, and it's going to be good. It's going to be good stuff. No, Ultra Spuds, no, you get to bypass all of that. At the end of the day, all of it's about forming a livelihood for me, right? If you think about the chain, it goes build a guild, foster a guild, a Discord community, a Twitch community, so that people are sticking about to watch the content, so that people are sharing the content, so that people are watching me for advertising revenue or donations or whatever, so that I can live, so that I can sustain myself. At the end of the day, it's me trying to do this as a job. So if someone comes along and bypasses the whole thing by going on Patreon and immediately helps me do this for a living, then there's no way I would ever punish someone like that. If you're an Ultra Spud, you skip all of that. You don't have to donate in game. You don't have to come to events in game. You won't get kicked from the guild. You get to be happy. You get all those perks because at the end of the day, you're doing what ultimately all of this is about for me, right? Like, so yeah, Ultra Spuds get to bypass all of that, and they won't have to worry. The Discord community is very active. It's a great community, right? Yeah, I've not been looking at Discord so much the past, like, 2 weeks, and I feel quite bad about that. I've been using it a lot to plan stuff out and with event planning and stuff, but I haven't been reading chat as it's been flying by. I don't even know what levels people are at the moment on there. I'm basically just using it like some dirty shill. I'm just like, here's a stream going live, here's a video. Need to get back into the habit of looking at it. Yeah, it's pay to win, yeah. Spud Club has always been built on a sweet foundation of pay to win virtues. Don't bother with Blade and Soul. I heard about it since launch. I'd go with Guild Wars 2 or BDO, depending on your preference. Yeah, BDO and Guild Wars 2, similar business model, but very different games. Okay, so yeah, now that we've got that level and we've done that starting stuff, I think let's go to Metrica. Let's try the old Metrica leveling. I like that idea. And thanks to Feature Pack 2, we don't even have to go through Lion's Arch. So let's go Sow and Draw. Any word on the new Zurich video you mentioned a little while back? I'm waiting for something in the mail. Did I mention the whole story with this? I think I did. I think I've got something like incredible coming in the mail that I'm really hyped for and I'm really excited about. And hopefully when it comes, I don't know how long it will take to ship. I don't know how difficult it will be. But when that thing comes in the mail, I will do that video. What is the history of Spud? I thought it was something he just made for subs recently. No, I started streaming about a year ago, a year and a couple of months ago. And when I did that, we had lots of big Zerg-based stuff. All the time. It was big Zergs, big Zergs, big Zergs. And someone in our community, I don't even remember their name anymore, but they literally just made a guild called the Spud Club. And they advertised it for themselves. And they just said, do we fight that? I don't know. And it was just like a tag for people to follow. And it was just a place so that or the community on their own were doing it. To just be able to meet up with people who were hanging around on the Total stream. And there were maybe 20 to 30 people in it. And I hadn't supported it at all. But then we did some other projects and PvP-based stuff and whatever that really didn't take any Zergs. And the guild just sort of died away. And I'd never done anything with it. But I joined it at one point on one of my alt accounts. And shortly after all of that was done and the original leader had left, I built it up. That was about a year ago now. And I said, well, let's make it a real thing. So yeah, Spud's about a year old now. And the idea is that we would look into decorations. I've known for a long time I wanted to look into decorations. I wanted to look into guild halls. I wanted to be able to review that stuff properly. I wanted to be able to understand what guild progression was like when Heart of Thorns came out. I wanted to be able to talk knowledgeably about it. And so over the year, we've been building the guild up. I've triggered every upgrade. I did all, and it's all been sort of in the name of the Heart of Thorns review, which I'm hoping to get out at some point. So, yeah, that's sort of what Spud's been. And then we started hosting events with it, and then we got the Games Masters, and yeah. And it's always been pay to win. It always, always, always has been. You're going on holiday over New Year, rip you. I am sorry about that. That is unfortunate if you're on holiday over New Year and when the purge happens. But I can't sort of go one rule for one and another rule for everyone else. I mean, it won't be a big deal. It's pay what you want. It's never been, oh, you have to pay this. The only thing I reject is if someone gives me a pittance, I'll be like, look, you need the money more than I do. And I do that. But aside from that, it is pay what you want, you know. If you don't feel like it's fair that you've been kicked and now you're being asked to pay again because of the purge at New Year, then just pay, you know, not an absolute pittance, but, you know, just pay what you want. You don't have to go mental and give like 50G or something. If you don't feel like that's fair. I'm not going to force that out of you. Can we come up here now? God, I feel so slow. What can we do to speed up a bit? What can we do for like a 25% move speed boost? How will you decide who gets promoted to Spud, though? I've been fairly active in the guild, but mostly outside the streams. Well, these events will be happening outside the streams. And what we'll be doing is... Well, this is the idea at the moment. This could all end up going away, obviously. But the idea is these events would be happening outside of the streams too, because I want to make a proper video out of it. I don't want to be doubling up stream and a video at once. And myself and the Games Masters will just see people who are there, and you get Spud rank. If I see you there, I'll just rank you. You'll be Spud. And then probably like once every 3 months or so, we'll take Spud away from everyone again. We'll do like a mini purge, and then we'll do it again. And then that way, people who are regularly coming to event regularly keep Spud with them. And so yeah. Heal skill gives me boons. Yeah, but it does give me swiftness. It's got a chance to give me swiftness. Okay. Yeah, I don't know whether I'm doing this particularly good. Caledon might have been a good idea, you know. A Norn in Caledon. Maybe we can go over there. What's some other really easy ones in Metrical? Oh, I missed your sub, Warhawky. I'm sorry. Listen, you might be new to the streams. You need to understand one thing about me. I'm a bad streamer. I'm not good at this, and I miss stuff all the time. I get distracted with rants, I get distracted with chat, I get distracted with the gameplay, and I'm always talking. I think being a good streamer on Twitch means this, okay? It means sitting here in almost absolute silence. And then every now and then I say, thanks to Dradrin for the follow. If anybody wants to donate, I've got a link down below. Thanks to Times Lament for the resub for 12 months. Can't stop, won't stop. Again, I just want to remind you guys that you can donate if you like. My schedule is Saturdays to Mondays at 8 PM GMT. No, basically don't say anything. Play the game, don't say anything, and just plug yourself for the full duration of the stream. That's what a good streamer does, right? Or just straight up ignore people. That's a good one as well. Maybe have loyalty ranks. No, we're not getting more ranks. We're not getting more ranks. It will just, we'll wipe Spud, and because I want it to still be as... I've been a part of guilds that have completely lost sight of what the fuck a guild should be, and they get bogged down with bureaucracy and spreadsheet keeping and just bollocks, and I will never have Spud in that position. So we're going to keep it nice and easy. It's just if you're at an event, you get Spud, and every now and then we'll take Spud away from everyone again, just to be sure. And then that means that people, you know, regularly come to events. Easy as that. That's what it is. And Spudders will be able to decorate, so people will want it. People will be able to win rewards and prizes and things at these events. People will be in videos. The events themselves should be fun. All that stuff. So there should be lots of incentive for people. I don't know what I'm doing here. Aren't I supposed to find things on the floor and throw them around? I'm supposed to collect stuff and put it in the storage, aren't I? Like these storms do something. Activate storm cloud generators, like this. And energy storage containers, and remove roaming sparks from the lab. Okay. So, because we've got too many players with us, this is... The thing with the Magical ones, we've gone through this many times, guys. The Magical ones don't scale well. For swiftness, you really like the swiftness on kill sigils and basic runes that increase swiftness duration. That's a great idea. How much money have we earned already? 2 silver? What's it called? It's called a sigil of... oh, shit. Hold on. Oh, no, that's fine. 2 silver. What's it called? Sigil of speed? Is it? Minor sigil of speed. Oh, it's 11 silver. Christ. And the major one is only 2. I guess that shows a lot of people low level are doing it. Either go into tools for speedy kits or inventions for 25% passive move speed. I was going to go tools for speedy kits. But what about the rest of those lines? Because I don't really know NG that well since the Lion's Arch specialization update. So I'm not entirely sure. So here we've got the buff on us, right? So now we can go and collect this in one of these. There we go. We can kill this spark over here. Oh, there's 2. That's good. And there's another level. So we're already level 5 now, guys. It's going good. It's going good. Here's another storage tank. That's the heart done. Very good. Keep moving. New profession unlocked. Rally unlocked. See, that stuff goes too fast to be teaching people mechanics. It goes way too fast. There's no chance new players are getting downed before that. Do you remember that? What were Guild Wars 1 players' reactions at Guild Wars 2 release? Were they satisfied with Guild Wars 2 or no? Was there uproar? They were satisfied with Guild Wars 2. The complaints with Guild Wars 2 squarely were on its end game at release. The complaints were not that it was a different game to Guild Wars 1. The complaints about Guild Wars 1 came later when nostalgia and nostalgia goggles started spreading its tendrils everywhere. And it really is, a lot of it is nostalgia goggles for Guild Wars 1. There's so much bullshit and just incorrect, just blatantly wrong stuff that people will vehemently stand by when discussing Guild Wars 1. Shit like, oh, there were more builds in Guild Wars 1. Stuff like, oh, the moment-to-moment gameplay was better in Guild Wars 1. Stuff like, oh, Guild Wars 1 was supremely more tactical for all game areas all the time. Stuff like the PvP population was bigger in Guild Wars 1. Stuff like the PvP metas were less stagnant in Guild Wars 1. All of that is nostalgia-induced crap. I'm telling you now, all right? People have just rationalized, just, you know, culled away the bad things, and they're just living on cloud 9 of what they think are purely happy memories, and they don't think of the ridiculously long times it took to organize for content and how dead a lot of those game types were. Around when Guild Wars 2 came out, there was very little of that going on. Guild Wars 2 was criticized for not having any endgame, which it had some endgame, but it didn't feed people into it very well. Its endgame was Fashion Wars 2, and it was working for Mystic Forge skins like Volcanus and legendary weapons. And if you weren't interested in that stuff, there was sweet fuck all for you to do. It was also bogged down by not presenting a very good story and some other stuff, but like endgame was the main thing with it. And what you found was a huge number of people left because the personal story and the core experience was not as good as it could have been. Or a bunch of people stuck around at least to make one legendary and then they left. And then the cherry on the cake was the stupid drama that people drummed up because of Ascended Gear. Those were the problems with Guild Wars 2 at launch. The Guild Wars 1 stuff didn't come for later. Now, for what it's worth, despite everything I just said, I do not deny the existence of people who liked Guild Wars 1 as it was basically a different genre, a different game entirely, and wish that the sequel hadn't deviated so much. There definitely were people, but I think those people never picked up Guild Wars 2 in the first place, because ArenaNet were very explicit rolling into Guild Wars 2 that Guild Wars 2 was a different beast. It was obvious it was going to be nothing like Guild Wars 1. The fact that Guild Wars 2 had 80 levels, right? The fact that Guild Wars 2 was purely open world. The fact that, the fact that it had arcadey style loadout skill sets. This stuff was all very, very, very well explained before release. And I think the people who fundamentally disagreed with that, they'd left anyway. They weren't even interested. I don't think they even bought the game. The biggest thing that was prevalent for Guild Wars 1 versus Guild Wars 2 was the loadout thing, and still is to this day. There are still people who think that this isn't as good an RPG because they can't choose every individual skill. But I think anyone who takes a second to seriously assess the design there, they will understand that the Guild Wars 2 system is better. The Guild Wars 1 system was an illusion of choice. It was not more choice. There were just more shitty builds in Guild Wars 1, and that's it. So yeah, Guild Wars 2's failings were not... I don't think there was a big uproar from us Guild Wars 1 players. There was no uproar because people knew that there was going to be a difference anyway, and they weren't there if they weren't interested. And besides, you've got to think about betas and things too. Like, people getting into the betas and then they understand, yeah, this isn't the game for me, and just go quietly. Like, again, I don't deny that people, Guild Wars 1 fans, will have never, you know, gone hard on Guild Wars 2 because it is a very different game. I'm just saying there wasn't an uproar with those people. They just understood, look, it's been marketed to different people, and then they moved on. There were other complaints. Like, people like me, we complained that the Asura were too cutesy, and that the Char had got too cutesy, and that the tone of the franchise had shifted so heavily, and I still don't think that the tone needed to shift as much as it did. It's clearly a tonal shift just to pander to a larger demo, and that still winds me up to this day. It's one of those, like, designed by committee, insipid, losing your identity, not having confidence in what your franchise and IP originally was, pieces of shit things that I really don't like. You know, the new design of the Asura with the big cutesy eyes and the Achar and stuff. That's all, to me, it's just clear. It's just like this big marketing, oh, well, fuck what we've established. We need a bigger player base. And that still winds me up. And that I always have never really liked very much. That's sort of a Guild Wars 1 versus Guild Wars 2 thing that's always been there. But has that been sent front? Have there been uproars about that? I don't know whether I'd go that far. But yeah, there are a lot of Guild Wars 1 players who feel burned by the sequel. And I'll tell you the best place to find that. Just go to... what do I do with this? How do we do it? Can you give me a gun? I'll take a blue key card, thank you. The best place to do that is just go to the Guild Wars 1 subreddit, okay? And just have a look at the way Guild Wars 2 is discussed on the Guild Wars 1 subreddit. It is very, very, very largely incredibly negative. Very negative. There are a lot of sour people there who are very, very much like, oh, Guild Wars 2 shit for this, 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 and this. And a lot of it for them also, I do believe, is nostalgic goggles, even if they are actively playing Guild Wars 1, because they're nostalgic about this supposed heyday that never actually existed. But yeah. Should I run rifle? Rifle jumping's not going to speed me up, is it? Did I turn off the donation pop-up? No, I didn't turn off any donation pop-ups. Why? Have you donated and it hasn't gone through? That sometimes happens for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe your payment was rejected. Maybe something happened. I mean, I don't know much about that stuff. I didn't really look into it too much. I'm sorry if that happened, but I'm pretty sure I didn't get anything if the pop-up didn't come up. Green cards. Need more blues. If you looked at Guild Wars Guru at launch, you would think the Guild Wars 2 launch was a complete failure. It was a big failure in a lot of respects, but what MMO isn't a failure in a lot of respects? That's sort of my point. I will happily accept that, this is really annoying. Why do I have to go through so many things just to get another card? I will happily accept that Guild Wars 2's launch was a failure in many, many places. I would never deny that because I really think it was, and I think it was crippled in so many ways. But Like, you know, and one of the best things, someone mentioned like Yogscast earlier. One of the best things I always think of when I really do think I'm quite miserable about the release of Guild Wars 2, and my heart sinks, and I'm like, oh, fuck's sake. I think of that video that the Yogscast did. Well, you guys have to understand, this is a very, very big YouTubing group. They got very, very, very big, based in the UK. They got big basically off of Minecraft, but they had their roots in World of Warcraft. And I remember for years, this channel, these people, as they were growing enormous, doing their Minecraft stuff, they'd come from WoW, and they, like so many other MMO players of the time, were looking forward to Guild Wars 2. And they had in their, like, About section on their channel, for years, they had, we're looking forward to Guild Wars 2. We're going to be playing Guild Wars 2, probably on the channel, when Guild Wars 2 comes out. It's going to be epic. We want to see what it is. And I remember having my eye on that for years. As a Guild Wars 1 YouTuber, I remember watching that and thinking, this will be really interesting. If they get into Guild Wars 2 like they got into WoW, and they're getting so big off of Minecraft, this could be really, really, really interesting. And I remember scrutinizing that, right? And then when Guild Wars 2 did come out, I think they did, like, they did a little series. They did some small series on the betas and things, yes. But I remember once the proper launch had released, they did very, very little content. Do you know what content they did? They did a fucking joke video laughing at how terrible the Zhaitan fight was and how bad the fight was. And their comments were filled with nothing but toxic bullshit from people. Right, fairly levied as well. Fairly levied criticisms. Don't get me wrong, I don't defend it. But just people saying about how shit the game was and how it launched with no end game and how it was destined to fail. Go back and look at it, honestly. So eye-opening. And that is a potentially massive slice of the community. If ArenaNet had pulled their socks up, if they hadn't been so short-sighted about the rate that people would level, if they hadn't been content to release with this shit part of the game, that video might not have been that video. It could have been something really epic instead. And yeah, like I said, it makes my heart sink. It really does. You might think, oh my god, WP, get over it, it's a video game. But, it, you know, to think of what it could have been. And the struggles that a franchise faces shaking those old conceptions off. Does anyone in chat remember that? Did anybody see that specific video if you followed that YouTuber at that time? Does anybody remember? And you have other stuff like the now quite big Twitch streamer because of Hearthstone and PoE, Kripparrian. He played Guild Wars. He had a bit of a ban fiasco. I mean, he's a bit of a toxic guy, to be honest. But he had, and he sort of just turned his back on it as well. There were people out there that could have, and I think game devs these days appreciate that latching onto people like that is so important now. Yeah, Benji makes a good point. Heart of Thorns, from a technical standpoint, was mind-blowing. It went very, 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 very good, the release. Aquatic Elixir, 20% chance swiftness on kill, sold by the Adamant Leader. Oh my god, great idea. Great idea. Is this smart, us coming over to these Skrit? Should we do this Skrit event over here? On that Yogs video, the first comment I see is 2 months ago saying Wooden Potato sends his regards. Really? Really? I wonder what that means. Are you serious? Someone's talking about me on that video? I don't know whether I should be proud of that or scared of that. What do they mean, I send my regards? Oh, I guess what they're saying is they know that I hate it as well. And that, yeah, okay, alright. So that's a video about laughing at the shoddy Zhaitan fight, and they know that I hate it, and they're saying I send my regards because I'd be nodding along with them. I hate that that exists, though. You gotta understand. I hate that that's the video they ended up doing. But of course they were gonna do that. Of course they were gonna do that. Fucking hell. And 2016, they've still not even appreciated. Like, every new player they get, that joke video... Oh, I'm not doing it. I'm not going on the rant. But I'll just point out, that joke video is every bit as relevant today. The absurdity of how bad that is. Of how burned the people feel by Personal Story, right? That is every bit as relevant as it was in 2012. Why? Because they've done fucking nothing for the Personal Story. For 4 years. And that sickens me even more. Christ. Yeah, Angry Joe had a very big review, and that definitely sold them a lot of copies. I've got to be honest, the Angry Joe review was one of his first, if not his first 10 out of 10s. Now, I'd been watching Angry Joe for a while. Angry Joe actually did a video of top 10 anticipated games at one point, like way back in like 2011 or something. And this was when he was in his heyday and he was building up. Maybe you might still consider him in his heyday or whatever, but And he'd put Guild Wars 2 above like ESO, and which was also due to be coming out, and he'd shown that he was really excited about it. And yeah, his review came out, and I'll admit, right, when he did his review, he gave it 10 out of 10. I'd followed his channel. I'd obviously followed Guild Wars 2. I was a Guild Wars 2 primary. It was great that he did. He gave it 10 out of 10. It was excellent for our audience and blah, blah, blah. It really was. So excellent that years later with Heart of Thorns, he was invited out and he did stuff. But I'll tell you one thing. I am shocked that he gave Guild Wars 2 a 10 out of 10. And I think he might even regret it. I don't know the guy. I've never spoken to him. But I would be surprised if today he'd give it a 10 out of 10 again. 10 out of 10 for Guild Wars 2 with the problems that it had? I don't think... I would never have given Guild Wars 2 a 10 out of 10. Ever. Not for a second. I mean, it really does shock me. Do you think Skyrim and Guild Wars 2 is only 10 out of 10? I think, didn't he do... what was it? There was a big open worldy game he gave a 10 out of 10 recently as well, I think. Or very close. Alright, should we go in here? Is this event up? Help Blip stop the inquest from using Hylic poison. We've done that heart. I need to sell, basically. I need a vendor. So I'm going to go to the heart. I'm going to sell. I'm not going to go into there. I never got Guild Wars 2 at launch, but I stumbled across AJ's review some months ago, and it was what made me pick it up. Right, yeah, like his review will have sold so many, beyond anyone else. I've been making Guild Wars content for what, like 6-7 years now, and he will have done more for them in that one video than I have in my entire existence, and that's just something you have to accept, right? Like, and so that and then you look at Heart of Thorns, they flew him out. They got him out to you know, when I went to Brighton, they flew him out to Seattle. They had him at the event. He was there. He was doing the stuff. You know what ArenaNet's hoping, beyond all hope? They're desperately hoping he's going to do another review. Does he do a review? No. He does one interview. In fact, they had a lot of big-time people out there hoping that they'd do reviews. Why can't I equip the pistol into my offhand? Oh, because it's a rifle I just bought. Well, fine. We'll equip a rifle. See how this goes. Alright, let's move on. He looked at his group play like World vs. World battles and open world. That's why I gave it a 10 out of 10. I know why he gave it a 10 out of 10, but that doesn't mean it wasn't short-sighted. I mean, it's a double-edged sword for me. On the one hand, I want to be, you know, as critical as possible, and to suggest that... Well, for him, I believe he's always said that a 10 out of 10 is, like, an elite, the top of its genre. It's not that it's a perfect experience, because there's no such thing as a perfect experience. But that, and I really like this philosophy of a 10 out of 10 as well, by the way. But that it is the best, if you're looking for an experience, this is the best you will get that experience to this date that the review comes out. This is the apex, this is the pinnacle of the genre, right? So he is saying the genre is no better than Guild Wars 2, what Guild Wars 2 provides and so forth. And perhaps for that, through that lens, a 10 out of 10 was totally warranted. But, I think I would still disagree. Is potatoes worth stuff? Wow, Jesus. Are potatoes worth things? We're at that point where we in a couple of levels we'll get gathering stuff for free. So I'm just gonna wait before we go harvest all those potatoes and things. In the meantime, let's just kill ooze and things, I guess. Good thing he did not get... I'll tell you why he didn't review Heart of Thorns. It's because he would have been fucking lost. He would have had no idea, because Corteria has no good... There's the level 80 thing. Basically, the dev is saying, just fucking skip everything. But it's bollocks. He doesn't know the characters. He doesn't know where the story is. There's no level of investment. There's no understanding with what all the gear is. There's no proper tutorialization of stuff. Look, we're not doing it. Someone change topic. Someone make me talk about something else. I'm going to be quiet until I see something else in Twitch chat. It's over. I'm not talking about Corteria. Not anymore. You're happy you didn't give Heart of Thorns a review? You're happy you don't think you would have liked it? Oh yeah. And it would have just solidified the game in a place that it doesn't deserve to be. I mean, what really annoys me is about... I mean, when I think about, like, Elder Scrolls Online, when I think about SWTOR, when I think about any other game, I really do have a very open mind to them right now, because I've seen how much an MMO can change. MMOs can change so much. Right? And they really do deserve that, like, second launch kind of thing. They really do. But people never take it seriously. And I feel like that's such a shame. I feel like it's a real shame that Guild Wars 2 is shackled by old concepts like about how its endgame works and about what its group play is like, and you know what roles you can play and how the soft trinity works and all these kinds of things. So people have these like ideas of what the game is and they just don't know what they're talking about anymore, but they will never reassess it because, oh, that came out in 2012. It's really sad. And worse, there's just this sort of default assumption that the population of the MMO won't be big enough for it to be a meaningful purchase, and that upsets me too. You know, there's a reason people are always asking, hey, is this game dead? Is this game dead? Is this game dead? Because they're terrified of getting into an MMO that's a couple of years old. There are very few that have managed to escape that. RuneScape escapes that, I think. WoW escapes that, I think. FF14 is not old enough yet to have been in that place in the first instance, I think. I wonder where the Guild Wars 2 is from an outside perspective. SWTOR is old. It feels pay to win. It's just about the story. Didn't SWTOR add all flying and shit though? Didn't it have like a whole new thing where you can fly? Wasn't that a thing from a few years back? That I heard was a big paradigm shift. Thank you for bringing back the dog face cam. Hey, no worries. We've got 2 of them as well. Yeah, I realised it's been a while since we've seen that one. So, you used to love Guild Wars 2, but you don't play anymore due to incompetence. Will I come back? For sure. I fucking love Guild Wars, but I just need my extended break for things to feel fresh. And yeah, I mean, if someone takes an extended break now until the next expansion, if the next expansion is what it could be, I think we might see the resurgence that this finally deserves. We could see it go to its place in the mainstream that it deserves to be. But I would also say there's the much more glaring elephant in the room problem of Corteria as well, that they seem to have no plans for, and missing Living World Season 1 by extension. FF14 had a full reset, yes, but that's kind of a different story though. FF14 didn't exist for very long in its original shoddy state. So I'm not quite sure that's the same as like Guild Wars having a full reset 5 years, which it would be, you know, at this point if they started working on a full reset. I'm not quite sure that's the same. But yeah, FF14 is a very interesting case study, shall we say. This heart is taking ages. How long is the Zero to Hero? We're almost down our first hour of Zero to Hero, guys. Giveaway going on in chat. Take a look at the lottery, guys, as well, if you'd like. 700 gold up for winning. Who doesn't Who doesn't fanny winning? Fancy winning 700 gold on New Year's, on Christmas Day. Could I play Guild Wars 2 if I focus solely on guild play? You're asking if you can do everything in a group as a guild? You can technically. It might be a bit hard to find other like-minded individuals who want to do that. And 5 players is the party cap, so a whole guild is a bit weird. But this lucky experience here, if you've got a couple of friends, there's some group of people coming from WoW that the subreddit's currently jerking off because they sort of moved over, that are doing something very similar. FF14 is so bad in my opinion that combat is so painfully boring I just can't get past that. It's really weird. I hear people are so polarized by FF14. What is that? Like with every aspect of it as well. People are like, oh, FF14 rating's amazing. And then other people are like, no, FF14 rating's really shit. And then one day I'll hear that FF14 rating is really accessible. And then I'll hear that it's really shit. And then I'll hear that the story's really good. And then I'll hear that it's really anime and cliche and boring and crap. And then I'll hear that it's really weird. And then, what's this one today? That the combat's bad. I've heard people saying that the combat's really good. What is the deal? All right, somebody type out a block of text for me, okay? Right here, right now. Type out a block of text of your description of FF14, and I will buy you at face value every single thing you say in that block of text, and that will be my opinion about it too, okay? That's how we're gonna do it. Because that's how informed discussion works. Oh, we could get our daily as well. We should totally get our daily, shouldn't we? What? Wait, hold on. This is a different daily because we're a low level to the other dailies. That's annoying. Morgan's Leap jumping puzzle. That's in Caledon Forest. That's a cheeky little 2 gold. I think we should go there now. Screw the potatoes and stuff. Let's go Caledon Forest. Unfork a bunch of areas as we walk over. Only solution is you must try it yourself. Well, yeah, that's the real answer. It'd definitely be the slow combat and slow level up WP. FF14's combat is shit because literally every combat action has a 2-second global cooldown, which means you can do literally nothing after every 2 seconds after using a skill. Yeah, a lot of MMOs do that. I think it's like a server thing. Guild Wars gets away with it because it has quite different server architecture, I think, to most other MMOs. Because it's basically a bunch of little instances strung together. Oh my god, look at this. Look at the FF14 opinions. Look at this. Combat is boring. There's a global cooldown. I don't play FF14, so I don't have an opinion. I don't play it, so I don't have an opinion. Wow, there you go. So that's my opinion too now, right? No, I need to have an opinion on things I've not experienced. If people are allowed to have an opinion on Guild Wars 2, even though it's had 4 turbulent years of changes, and still have an opinion, I'm allowed an opinion on FF14, alright? I played it before A Realm Reborn came out, so I'm allowed an FF14 is a traditional MMO in every sense, and it appeals to WoW players. So why has it been successful, while WildStar tried to build on the same idea, and that wasn't? Combat on the Ninja was very rotation-based, and it was easy to string together something optimal by changing damage over times, fitting in AoE and control, and finishing off targets carefully. You have to focus very hard to play perfectly, and it's a timing game in some senses because of the long, albeit beautiful animations. That's interesting. I always thought that Vindictus had very good-looking combat. So good to see more paragraphs in the Twitch chat. I know, we usually have really good chat, by the way. I'm very proud of our chat. I go to other people's streams and I'm like, you have awful chat. Like, these people are just fucking drooling morons. I like our chat. I was so toxic there. It's brilliant. So horrible. We gotta finish this. Here we go. Oh, I have jump shot. I can actually skip doing the event, can't I? I have jump shot. We can just go. Oh, it's up anyway? What is this? I thought that tree needed to grow to that. Oh my god, this is bad. Norn jumping. Yeah, there needs to be more Kappa spam and I don't know what else, whatever else people do. I don't know, I've got to focus. I can't look at chat for a second, guys. I'm sorry. This is very important for the integrity of Zero to Hero. If we fall, we die, and that's our first death. And did I mention that this is all permadeath? No, it's not permadeath. I want to get back to our permadeath runs. Maybe when this Zero to Hero is done. Currently 0. On our way to Hero. We're already level 10. 1/8 of the way there, in theory. Ish, sort of. Not really. Nook Poop Bar. I can't believe that's our name. That is the scariest jump in the whole thing. Did you see that crab? I hate that jump. That jump's awful. I almost stopped to jump shot it. That's how much I hate that jump. There we go. Morgan's Leap. And we get 10 AP for it. Very nice. Chest of the Athlete. Get some XP. Oh, yeah, dailies are really good because XPs and stuffs. Excellent. Oh, man, killing that Hylek would have been good. It's already dead, though. The next JP is not going to help us very much. All right, so that's fine. And let's get Ascalon Forager as well. So let's go Ascalon now. And let's forage some stuff in the Plains of Ashford while we're wandering around. And that should give us a bit more XP as well. Permadeath run of the Heart of Thorn story would be cool. I don't think it would be cool. I think this game's too easy to cheese out with certain builds. The only scary bit on that, I think, would be the foul lane chase. I think the entirety of the rest of it, with the correct build, you could just sort of cheese it. Unless it was a permadeath run and you're forced to play, like, a glassy spec. But then how do you define a glassy spec? And, what a hassle. Oh, I didn't buy my elixir. I know where it is. I will go back to Metrica, don't worry. I just want to quickly nip over here to get some of this. We probably have enough silver soon too, anyway. So. Can you disable gliding? I wish you could, but no, you can't. Do you know what I wish also? The masteries were character bound, not account bound. Maybe I want to experience the jungle without gliding enabled again, huh? Permadeath migraine achievement. Damn. I really do like what they did with migraine. I'd be very excited if the next expansion has migraine style achievements for every personal story step. That would be really cool. Glassy spec equals no armor. Not really. We've done stuff with no armor. You can still sort of cheese it with other stuff. Oh, that was great. Look at that. We've already leveled hard enough that we feel like super AP here. Permadeath and gliding doesn't mix well. Yes, let's talk about masteries. No, let's not talk about masteries. What do you guys think my, like, top rants are? That seems like a weird question to ask. Probably like Corteria, account-bound mastery, character-bound, wanting character-bound masteries, lack of purity of purpose in elite specializations. What else do I seriously like bitch about? What am I a broken record about? What are some other ones? Heart of Thorns? No, I think Heart of Thorns did some good things. I don't think I'm that mean about Heart of Thorns. Is it smart to blunderbuss? On a power build? I'm doing 1 bleed tick. Oh, 13, sorry. Dropped storylines? Maybe, yeah. The tonal shift of the franchise, maybe? Your top rant has to be about Poopy McPoopbutt as a lore-friendly Norn name. Did I rant about that? I didn't rant about that. It's totally a lore-friendly name. Did jump shot change in the whole game, or was it just in PvP? Looks like it changed in the whole game. 26 on the leap, 150 on the land. Oh, what? We're not actually getting credit here. It's a bit weird. You should rant more about how bad titles are in Guild Wars 2 compared to Guild Wars 1. That does annoy me. But that's a weird one. That's a polarizing one. That's a perfect example of a wooden potatoes opinion I know is not for everyone. I've talked about it before. So, for people to understand, we've done it on streams before where we've looked at titles. And on my main account, genuinely, about 25% to 33% of all the titles I have, which should be prestigious and you should know what they're coming from, I don't even know how I got them. For a good 25% to 33% of them. Don't even know where they came from. There's just no prestige to them. I don't like them at all. And so my suggestion has always been I would rather like they be rarity tiered and you get different colored titles. So like a white title is a really easy one, like Volunteer. But something like Fate Breaker would be like a gold title, right? Or an ascended title or something. And you could tier them off so then people could see what the actual prestigious titles were, what actually put effort, what took effort. But I've talked about that before and people have been like, no, because then everybody's just going to pick the colour. And I don't understand that argument. I really don't. If you like Fate, if you like a different title, even though it's white, because you think it sounds cooler for your delicate little RP purposes, then just run it when it's white. What? It's weird to me. But people really didn't like that. Some did, some agreed with me, but a lot of people didn't. So it's sort of something I don't talk about much anymore. Guild Wars 1, they actually showed effort. Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things. My best solution actually now for titles, in my opinion, is PvE leagues, in which you can play a new character that's on a reset account that loses all of their titles, and it's for the duration of that league. And in this way, titles get prestige again. So, for example, if you're playing a PvE league and that league's only existed for 6 months, and you see someone with Fate Breaker, you'd be like, fuck, man, that guy got Fate Breaker. Or if you see someone in a level 69 guild on that league, and they got level 69 really fast, you'd be like, holy shit, that is an epic guild. And Black Lion skins would suddenly be a lot rarer, and stuff like Volcanus out of the Mystic Forge, and flashy skins that are rewarded through effort rather than Black Lion skins that someone bought years ago suddenly have more prestige. PvE leagues fix a lot of Guild Wars 2's problems, a lot, and they've shown they have the tech for it too with the beta system they had. If they fix an ungodly amount. Yeah, 69, the sex number. I know, it's very funny. Can I trigger this cannon now? People done? There we go. Right, that's another level. And now we've got our gathering things, which we can get potatoes and stuff with. But first of all, we want to gather some stuff for our daily. That's not bad, guys. Hitting level 10 in one stream. Oh, we're level 9. We're going to be level 10 in a minute. It kind of ties in with this problem with the masteries. I do feel that they should cut that system in half and integrate the 2 new systems, or maybe just the character-bound ones to a new title system with actual distinction and feeling of rarity. The thing is, though, right, like, it's easy for us to just spit things that they could do to improve the game. It's prioritizing which ones they do first, right? Like, what would I pick? A title overhaul, or what's like something of comparable effort, do you think, to develop to a title overhaul? A title overhaul or some kind of... I don't actually know what's comparable to that. But you get what I mean. I didn't use titles till I got what made me laugh, Chicken Chaser. Alright, speaking of titles, since we're talking about them, who wants to pick a title for our character? I think I should have some. All right, I've got 3 titles. Golden, like come on, golden. With today's economies, this should have been updated. This should be revoked from players, and it should be given to people who have acquired like 2,000 gold or something, right? It should actually mean something. But oh, we can't revoke reward. Oh, whatever. What do we do, guys? Do we go golden? Do we go loyal? Or do we go veteran? The first person to say something with 99 as the code. 99. Still nothing to gather around. There isn't much mechanically or feature-wise I'd still want for the game, actually. ArenaNet's done really well with the new patches. I can think of a few features. The leagues. I can think of a lot of features and new disciplines and things based with guild halls and decorations. Farmers and... oh my god. And diplomats that can move NPCs around, and there was another one I was thinking of just the other day that I thought would be really epic as well. There's loads of stuff. And then obviously on the lore side, I want location lore, I want lore books, I want POI and skill challenge lore, I want a bestiary. Okay, so 99 veteran. There we go. All right, veteran. How far do we have to move to get stuff to gather? There's a at least this event might give us something. God walking amongst mere mortals. I could connect this to one of my other Guild Wars 1 accounts and maybe get something from the Hall of Monuments, but not too much. What do you think of proper housing being introduced? I don't think the game needs it. Controversial opinion perhaps, but I don't think it needs it. I think they could probably sell an expansion with it though. I think if they revealed in an expansion that home instance decorating or something was going to be a thing for people with it, they might be able to do a bit more. But I think that's actually a lot more long term. I think what Guild Wars 2 needs to do is it needs to spend the next 1 or 2 expansions refining the decorating system, adding more disciplines that integrate with decorating, and keeping it as a community guild-based thing, like massively. Continuing to add more festivals that add more decorations, allow people to rotate, allow people to scale, put this stuff in there intelligently. And once the game has got that baseline, and once people are more happy with it, once more guilds exist with more people in them who have had more opportunities to decorate, which currently there aren't even that many of those, which is one of the big things about Spud. We offer opportunities a lot of guilds don't have, okay? Once that is all in place, and I think that's 1 to 2 expansions down the line, and there is generally a good vibe around decorating, that's when they sell player housing decorating. That feeds off of the backbone that they've built with all the other stuff. Until that point, keep it about the communities, keep it about the guilds, don't rush into it. That's one of those things that I think that they could do early, and they would ruin for themselves. I think it's a big mistake to do the next expansion. Oh, now players can decorate in the houses. Because what's going to happen is new people are going to be like, oh, wow, Guild Wars 2 is adding player decorating, and they're going to think, I wonder if that's like Wild Stars. And then they're going to go to our Guild Wars 2, or they're going to go to the forums, and they're going to hear... you know, snotty-nosed us, right? People like me, the nerds already in the community that are hypercritical, and they're going to hear Wooden Potatoes, and they're going to hear other people like Wooden Potatoes saying, who gives a crap? Decorating's shit anyway. Look at this terrible local cap. Look at this terrible global cap. Look at this terrible scaling issues. Look at the fact we can't rotate. Look at the fact that this doesn't exist and this doesn't exist. Look at the fact we can't change skyboxes. This has got nothing on WildStar. And then those people are going to think, oh, okay, never mind then. I thought I was excited about this for this expansion. I thought I was going to get into Guild Wars 2. But all the people in the community aren't excited about it, so never mind, I won't be either. And then the day that it finally comes through a series of small patches that don't get the fanfare an expansion does, when that finally happens, it doesn't matter anymore. Damage is done. So they need to be slow about it. That would be my opinion on it. Always be slow about things. There better be 5+ SAB stuff for the guild if we don't get World 3. Oh, I'm sure they'll add some Super Adventure Box Festival decorations. I'm really excited about those as well. I think that's going to be awesome. I'm really excited about those. And I hope we get World 3 as well. World 3 would be so cool. I really, really, really want Josh Foreman to have finished making the Chalice of Tears and then just purely been on SOB since then. With a handful of other guys, current events guys, which is why they haven't been able to put out very much. I really want that to be the case. Come on, don't let us down. Okay, apparently we got someone spamming a virus, like a bot, spamming viruses in chat, so careful. Just like the old days. Not sure, WP, that new players will go to the forums first. It took me 1,400 hours of playtime to enter that purgatory. Maybe, but it's okay. It's not just about the forums. It's not just about our Guild Wars 2. Let me put it this way. I have an older brother. My older brother, once upon a time, originally got me into Guild Wars. Right now, he's more of a console gamer now. He's like a pro gamer. He doesn't really play PC games. He doesn't have a PC. He doesn't have space for a PC in his house. And he works shit tons of overtime. So he would never get into Guild Wars 2. But let's humor something for a second. I buy my older brother a PC. My older brother moves to a new place where he's got a place for this PC. And he wins the lottery and he doesn't work overtime anymore. He's got loads of time and he turns to me and he says, all right, listen, little bro, I once upon a time played Guild Wars with you and I got all this time now. I want to get back into it. I want you to teach me about the sequel. I don't want to play Guild Wars 2. And there's this expansion that's coming out and I'm really excited about this decorating system in it. Now, I'm going to say to him, oh yeah, you can come, but the decorating's crap. Blah, 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 blah. And so he didn't even have to go on the forums. He's not the kind of person that would ever go on the forums or go on Reddit. But people who come into MMOs typically have an entry point. They've got a friend that got them into it, or a family member, or someone. Typically, there are a lot of people who come in totally on empty, sure, but a lot of us do it because we're being encouraged by our friends and family. And all the established players are not going to be excited about it, whether they're on the forums or not. That's kind of my point. The forums are just a good example of that mentality. In a very plain way that even naked people would get in there and see it. Welcome, Magota. Welcome, welcome. You didn't care for SAB at all at first, but going through some semi-forced gameplay, you wanted to hang out with guildies in-game and in Discord. You actually started to like it. Yeah, SAB grew on me a lot. Last time it came back, it really grew on me. To the point that I sort of miss it right now. I was a bit of a snob about SAB for a long time. Oh, I still stand by it. It's overhyped, alright? I'm sorry, it's overhyped. But it is damn good. And I have been a snob about it. Probably too much of a snob about it. I'm looking forward to it coming back. And I'm hoping that there'll be some updates. Big time. What do you think about the Mystic Coin issue? We talk about this all the time. Leffy. I don't think it is an issue. I was happy to see a thread where someone said a devil's advocate and they were talking a little bit of sense for once. Mystic Coins are an excellent... When they're worth something, they're an excellent thing to encourage people to keep the game installed because of login rewards. Login rewards are an important system that I think that probably help player retention an awful lot more than most people realise. Most veterans have the capacity to think about. I'm a real snob, aren't I? I'm a dickhead. But I honestly do think that they're a good thing at a high price. Keep people in the game. They're not required. They're more cosmetic-based things. I also don't... A lot of people are like, oh, it's bad. It's flawed design. It's flawed design because... the supply can never change. That's bollocks as well. Of course the supply can change. As more people play the game, as more accounts are made, the supply is changing. What are you talking about? As the Mystic Coins become more expensive, more people realize login rewards are something worth getting, and the supply is changing. You're also completely overlooking the current events that offer it, and you're overlooking the Nightmare Fractal that offer it. The supply of Mystic Coins absolutely can change. It is not a fixed static thing, and that comes up so often. Oh, because it's time gated, it can never change. No, you're wrong. Mystic Coins are fine. In fact, they're going to help us out on this run as well. We're going to be selling our Mystic Coins here, getting some sweet cash. So you just realised they haven't reused the tech from Heart of Thorns that made the spinning platform in the last instance? I think that same tech actually is what they used to have the airships moving in a Ra story mode. And I think it's the same tech they used to have the raft move in Super Adventure Box. So I think they have used it in different places. Not in Living World so far, and I do agree that's a bit of a disappointment. Living World Season 3 could totally reuse that somewhere. Maybe they've just forgotten about it. I mean, it's a big MMO, and not every developer's going to remember every interesting thing they can do for every patch. But yeah, I would bank on us seeing it again at least once. What do you think about the way the login rewards are handled? Like, instead of making people log in each day, you keep progress if you skip a day? Yeah, that's an interesting thing. You won't find many people in the community advocating the alternate world, which is where you lose all your reward if you're not doing it in a big long chain. I don't know how that would have gone. That would have maybe helped more though. So just so that people are clear what I'm talking about here. Where did login rewards get seen? Here. So what happens is if I log in tomorrow, I get a bag of luck. I push my progression. But if I don't log in tomorrow and I log in 3 days, I still get the bag of luck. And then if I wait a week, then I'll get the black flying goods. And then if I wait 2 weeks, I'll still get this, right? I don't have to do them sequentially. Other MMOs are a bit stricter about this. And they say you have to do it in a row. Day 1, you get a mystic coin. 2 mystic coins. And if you do it 2 in a row, you get your laurels. And if you do 3 in a row, you get bad luck. And you keep working. And so the rewards get bigger and bigger as you go, which is your reward for consistently logging into Guild Wars 2. And it's much stricter. You can see how that's a much more limiting system. Potentially a much more rewarding system at the same time, though. And potentially could have done a lot more for player retention in Guild Wars 2. It would have been the devs doing the asshole route. Very often, ArenaNet do the very convenient route and the player-friendly route and the play when you want, how you want route, and they try to be as nice as possible. They really do. And for the amount of bitching this community does sometimes, they don't appreciate how nice ArenaNet are to the community. Other MMOs are way stricter about this kind of stuff. So if we're discussing the world where what if ArenaNet were douchebag MMO developers, like most of them, where they force you to do it day by day by day by day, I don't know. What do you guys think that would have been? Do you think that would have been bad? Do you think that would have been too toxic? Or do you think maybe that would have led to a lot more people playing Guild Wars 2? Because a lot more of us would have kept it online, installed, and a lot more of us would have been incentivized to get login reward. What do you think? Do you think that was a mistake of theirs to be nice, to be the good guys? I always ask myself that question. With a lot of what they do, they go for the nice thing that harms their retention. I feel the main underlying issue is that Guild Wars 2 is a two-way split: casuals, hardcore, lazy, entitled being the majority in both groups. Your thoughts? No, I don't know whether I agree with that. I think it's very easy to sort of and I do it all the time. I try very hard not to, but I think it's very easy to tar everyone with one brush. I'm not actually sure how many lazy, entitled people we have in the community. Sometimes I get a bit depressed when I see quite prominent opinions that I just strictly don't agree with, and it's like, come on, is this just not laziness or whatever? But it's just it's a bit of a cop-out answer, and an answer that doesn't lead to any good discussion or anything. But I'll say this, right? This MMO is huge, and it caters to so many different people of so many different sensibilities, and your expectations about a video game, and what it is to work for something in a video game, what it is to be rewarded for something in a video game. There are so... I watched a video of a 4-year-old playing the Winter's Day jumping puzzle, right? I was in a guild with like a 65-year-old woman for a long time, okay? Right, there are huge, and I know that they're on the different ends of the bell curve there, obviously. But what I'm trying to express to you is there are so many different people expecting so many different things from this game that you're not going to get a consensus. And there will be complaining from one audience to another. You cannot please everyone all the time. And that's a cop-out answer, and that's an answer that doesn't lead to anything valuable, and that's a boring answer. But I feel like that's sort of all I can say, you know, off the cuff about it. Are people just being lazy? For everyone that's talking about being lazy, there's probably a couple who are happy with difficult reward going in the game. For everyone that was upset about Aureen's baby design, there were people who were happy with Aureen's baby design. For everyone who's happy about something being quick to get, there are people unhappy about it being too difficult to get. You know, that it wasn't difficult to get. For every one person that was happy with a new gem store back piece because it looks flashy and they finally got value for money from buying gems, there were people who were upset that it wasn't a legendary and it devalues the appearance of their hard-earned legendaries in game. Right, there is the yin and the yang on pretty much everything. And yeah, I sort of detest an answer like that, but because what does that give us? Nothing. You loved that video. Yeah, it was pretty cool, right? The girl's better than you. Don't think that's true. WP Guild Wars 2 outranks SWTOR and ESU because of its combat and how nice it is to people. All we can look at is what the devs say they want the game to be. And we've done this discussion before. That's where I think the crux of the issue is. It's what the devs say they want the game to be and whether they're accomplishing what they want the game to be. They're going to get all kinds and cater to all kinds. And what they need to do more than anything else is be clear about what they want it to be. And I think one thing that they've at least consistently said is they want it to be something that rewards you for your time. Now, that's a very subjective thing to go down anyway, but you get what I mean. Aram Alice says, you feel like the community is spoiled. Maybe. I sometimes feel that way. We do have a lot of really nice quality of life and things. And But the thing is, you get used to the really good stuff, and then you just start pushing them for... you're never going to stop pushing the game to be better, I think. It's very easy to misconstrue bitching and whining and complaining that I haven't done stuff as people hating the game when it's not. It's because people love the game. And that's something I think a lot of people need to appreciate as well. When I'm sitting here on these streams and I'm on my high horse, right? And I'm being a bit of a dick, really. And I'm being entitled and I'm acting like my opinion's the only one that matters. And I'm adamantly stating that Corteria is an abomination and that they need to remake it and that they're stupid for doing Master Chief the way that they did it. And when I'm saying all this kind of stuff, right? That's not me saying Guild Wars 2 is a bad game and other MMOs are better and that, you know, that they've never done anything right or whatever. Usually it's just because I love the game and want to see it get better. And so a lot of the time when you see all that complaining on the forums, you might misconstrue. You know, say you're Joe Blogs, right? And Joe Blogs is looking to get into Guild Wars 2. He decides to check out a Twitch stream. People do that, right? There might even be a couple of you on there right now. If you actually are, someone say that. If you're watching, I've just realised it. I'm streaming, right? If you're watching this stream because you're like, do I want to get into Guild Wars 2? It happens a lot, especially small-time streams. I don't know whether any of you guys have ever tried streaming. But if you go to the very little streams on Twitch, largely on any game, a Stardew Valley stream, a fucking Minecraft stream, whatever, like a game comes out, a lot of people base their purchasing decisions by going to small-time streams and asking the streamer just random questions about how the game goes. So let's imagine we're that person, right? And we're checking out the community, we're scoping it out, and all that they see is someone bitching about it. You might come away from that thinking that the MMO is terrible, but generally it's probably not. It's because someone loves the MMO so much they just see these other little areas and want to see get ironed out. If there's no criticism, it's probably born from the game's really bad, really. If no one's criticizing it. I know that seems kind of counterintuitive and weird to say, but like, if no one was bitching about Guild Wars 2, what that would say to me is that no one's playing it, no one has any decent expectations, no one feels like it's worth criticizing the game, and that the game has no future. If there was no criticism, if it was one big happy family, right, where there was no complaining about it anymore, that says to me the game is dead or dying. Look at Guild Wars 1 right now. How many people still to this day bitch about Elementalist balance in Guild Wars 1? How many people today bitch about the fact that Mesmers are kings of everything in Guild Wars 1 balance? Who does that? No one does. Why? Because it's a dead or dying game. So you take the criticism with heart. Sometimes it's just the fact that the game's doing something right that it's there. Case in point, look at the Bram stuff, right? Like, people really talked a lot about Bram in the recent story patch. Do you know what that actually means? That means people are getting into the story. That's actually fucking cool. Oh, no, this event's up. This is a good one. How long's the stream's been going on here? God, 2 hours, 20 minutes. Guys, we're going to do this event, I think, and then we'll probably close the stream down after this one, I'm afraid. So let's hope it's a good one. Let's hope we get some... Oh, is he just pointing us to... Is he bugged? What are you going to do about it? Here we go. People become kind of a-holes when they play games. There is that element of passion and frustration. And the more competitive it is, the more serious it is. You can even see it with some people playing board games. It's just a game, but then some people might accept that aggression is a part of the passion. On the other hand, some people might have more patience and don't believe venting out in the moment, which isn't necessarily healthy either. Yeah. I mean, Christ, I don't know whether I'm a... In fact, to be honest, if I watched these streams, I wouldn't like myself very much, to be honest. I don't think I'm the nicest of people. I think I get very entitled. It will slip out every now and then. What will Amazon cook up with the ex-devs? Who knows? Well, they got 3 different games. If you're talking about New World, who knows? The thing New World's got going for it more than anything else is money. Potentially. I mean, we don't know for sure whether these people are being paid a lot and have got a massive team or not. We don't know any of that. But theoretically... Amazon is one of the largest companies in the world. Amazon can push a shit ton of money into the development of something. And if there is any genre in the existence of video gaming, in the history of the existence of video gaming, this is one that needs a lot of money to get its feet off the ground. Amazon can brute force shit. It's a bit like how Blizzard gets so many good games. I believe it's just because Blizzard is so big and they have the brand and stuff, right? So they just have that installed user base anyway. But Amazon can brute force shit that with the most elite of, you know, devs and numbers of them just because they got ludicrous amounts of cash. That's sort of my layman's perspective of it. And, you know, Amazon might be able to compete on those terms. That is why you should be excited about New World. Don't be excited about New World because of Guild Wars 2 devs or anything, because it seems like a lot of them, if not all of them, aren't even on it. Be excited about New World because of its tone, if that appeals to you, its ideas, as and when they release them, and money. That's all you have to be. This ain't no science-based dragon MMO being ran from someone's basement, okay? This is big cash dollar. Oh, Pink Unicorn points something out. SWTOR had ungodly amounts of money and screwed up its launch. Yeah, SWTOR had an elite dev. If you really think about it, right? BioWare is a strong name. A strong name. And it had an elite IP. For years, the strongest IP in the goddamn world, right? Star Wars. And that didn't really get the legs that you would have expected. Refresher 0 point something else out as well. Another reason to be excited about. Yes, Amazon pinning New World to Twitch is huge. They have a unique opportunity, a unique thing there. There are currently 3 games, and all of them you should be excited about for that reason. Breakaway, which actually had a beta on this weekend, and I almost did a stream on, but didn't in the end. Breakaway, Crucible, and New World. All 3 of these are titles that can play with Twitch, and that's basically the whole theme of the release, the public release that they gave out to us, right? They can play with Twitch. They can do things that no one else can. So those are reasons to be excited also. I feel like I should have a kill streak booster or something, but this is actually kind of a nice level for this to scale. There's a few mobs coming in, but we got time to tag them all. It's piercing, fast shooting rifle, long range on it. It's good. But genuine threats of violence and death isn't cool. I don't know how many of those I've ever really seen in our community. The worst I've seen, what I think, obviously, sending someone a death threat is not cool, right? Obviously. I mean, sort of teaching your granny to suck eggs there by saying something like that. But I often feel like people talking about that, that's overblown. I don't think that happens too much. I think a much more useful thing to say is requesting people get fired isn't cool. That happens all the time. All the time. And that is one of the most obnoxious, arrogant, twattish things I think you can do. Seriously. And to say it to someone, like that guy some guy got a nice response on the AMA after saying to the devs, I think the balance team should be fired. Like, I honestly think that is such a prickish move. That winds me right up when I see that. Requesting people be fired. And that happens all the time. Okay. So, there is the question of the festival as well, and these gifts, and we can earn money from these and things. I'm not sure how hard I'll go on that. I kind of want to keep festivals out of it. I kind of want to keep SAB out of it. I kind of want to keep PvP out of it, so we're not going to do that. We will pick up some cheeky 12 silver there, though, for 2 of those. Honestly, the only thing that saddens me that Guild Wars 2 doesn't try to do at all is that Guild Wars doesn't even try to get you to meet people and socialize and make friends nowhere in PvE and PvP. I agree completely. I agree. Playing together alone, this is something people like the game for. In its pursuits to make a friendly, happy environment, in its pursuits to make everything as fluid and stress-free and frustration-free as possible, in its pursuits for these things, Guild Wars 2 has lost one of the most important things to an MMO, and that's a reason to interact with people on any kind of meaningful level. With conflict comes engagement, and comes communities, and comes epic moments. There's a reason a lot of like old guard MMO players are nostalgic about the days where, you know, they're nostalgic about elements in games that were very open to trolling and abusing one another and stuff. But they created these highlights and these moments and these But this game, we can't inspect one another. We can't direct trade with one another. It doesn't matter whether you're in a party with someone to do anything. There's no bonuses for being in a party to do anything. There's no moments where you really are requested to stop and interact. Like on this stream, think about it. I've been playing with, what, 6 to 7 different people? I don't even, honestly, I've got my eyes closed right now. I think one person's name might have Howl in it. It might be Howl Dider or something. Aside from that, I've got my eyes closed. I don't know what the fuck I'm looking at, right? Aside from that, I could not tell you, to save my life, if someone came in here and they put a gun to my head and they said, "Wood of potatoes, you're going to die unless you tell me the names of these people that have been playing the game with you," I wouldn't know. I genuinely don't know who's with me right now. And that's what Guild Wars 2 is. So I've got a guy called S Ninja here. Papa Briscoe. I don't know. And like, that really, really makes me sad. I think that's one of the biggest problems Guild Wars 2 had at launch as well. It wasn't just the lack of endgame. It was the lack of putting people into established communities as much as it was the lack of established communities to have things to do. And that's why Wild vs. Wild was so important as well, I think, for when the game first came out. PvP really wasn't anything to talk about. It's interesting to me how being a role player, engaging with the game as one, addresses some of the game's issues. Right, and it's something that should be encouraged, and I feel sad about the Mega Server update and the flippant handling of role-playing communities at the time, even if I don't role-play myself. When you're with McPoopbutt, what more do you need? I know, and that's not because I'm mean, that's not because I'm trying to ignore people and stuff, that's just because that's the way that this game works. That's why, by the way, when I talk about a Corteria overhaul, I talk about them readdressing areas like Black Citadel and the use of all the dead space in these areas. And I talk about them making the Bane a real arena where people can participate and stuff for fun, but to function a bit like an open world version of what is currently a very exclusive system in guild halls. And I'd love stuff like that. I'd love people to be able to bet on things. I'd love more reason to do stuff like Belcher's Bluff. I'd love to be able to... even just like emoting rock, paper, scissors. I'd love new emotes where you can like carry each other and kiss and crap like that. I'd love the pace of the leveling to slow down. I'd love more opportunity to do things where an incentive to hang around with people. I'm not saying strip away some of these incredible very innovative features that they've put in there. And I'm not saying it was a mistake for ArenaNet to try so hard to make this a happy, friendly game. But conflict does count for something in an MMO. It does. And this game is the most stripped down, bare bones, playing together, but alone. That's what I'm doing right now. I feel alone. And all of this was further exacerbated by the fact there weren't raids before. And there weren't designated roles for people in in-game. And there weren't meaningful rewards to go for. I do not think any AAA MMO does that kind of community anymore. At least not outside of raids. You think they're all like this? You think they're all... I mean, that would be interesting. Again, I'm not a very good person to talk about this kind of stuff. I want my Ascalon Forager. What's going on, man? It doesn't another event spawn over there? Isn't that a thing? Where can we get Ascalon Forager? Should we go to the Strawberry Garden? Because that's in a higher level area, but there's no fighting to get there. What do you think about reversing the scaling? I mean, making the game harder for someone who runs solo? No. I don't agree with that. Here we go. So this is the event we wanted to do. I don't agree with that, no. The open world can be totally about solo play. It's just about filtering opportunities for group play into that better. Like, for example, one of my biggest... You know, if I was the designer on the Corteria Oval, one of my biggest solutions to this issue would be I would push personal story into a place a bit more like Guild Wars 1's, and that's not just nostalgia goggle, and that's not just because, you know, I've taken some default assumption that it works well, but I would have this kind of more campaign style thing where you have the personal story goes along, it's the personal story, but it's punctuated by about 15 to 20 specific moments that are equivalent to the Guild Wars 1 campaign missions. And I would have these be the moments where you're in instances. These are the moments where special things are happening. These can be failed. These would adjust so many different things. But what I'd actually do is I'd have them be duo 2-man to 5-man content. I would not have them be designed as solo content. I would have it, you have to be with one other person to go in there. That's all. Duo. That's all it is. Just at least 2-man. And then they can scale up to 5 if you like. That's all I would have. but it would force people that bar, and this would be like a mechanical thing. It wouldn't be because, oh, you can solo it if you're good enough. It would be you are forced to duo. At least to open the instance, you need 2 people. And the reason I would do this is because it forces people at some point to interact with one another, to learn what, and I would have it properly teach people what LFG is at the same time, to group up, to make connections, and I would have little moments in there, like, you know, like in Swamp, where you've got to get 3 people to run the wisps at once. I'd have little moments like that, or like in Guild Wars 1, where one person pulls the lever to open the wall and the other person runs through. Things like that, just little moments of engagement. And yeah, I'd have 15 to 20 of these missions that encompass the personal story. And this would get people making friends. It would mean you actually have at least one moment where you interact. Because I'll tell you what would happen, right? I promise this is what would happen in a lot of situations. You go in there, you make friends with the guy that you're doing it with, and oh, guess what? We're both at the same damn point of the personal story here. Let's keep playing together. And then they continue along with one another. You know, I really feel like just something like that. There's too much discussion to go into on this sort of stream. This is brilliant. This is a great event. This has worked out quite well. Yeah, you can set Twitch to give alerts. Yep. You can sub to Wooden Potatoes too. You can sub to Wooden Potatoes. I do the I Am Live videos now. What I would love is friends to play with and discuss and share opinions with. Right now, they all play Overwatch, including me, because I like playing with my friends. Yeah. Lizards stealing shit again. There we go. That's level 10, guys. Oh, no, my God. Oh, man. Wow, Jesus. That's level 12 we're at. Level 12 in an hour and a half. I think that's a bit quicker than the old one. The problem you have is almost everyone you meet is juvenile. You feel like you don't have anything in common. See, classically in MMOs, didn't they have like servers? You know how we have like French servers and German servers? Classically, aren't there MMOs that used to age bracket people as well? Guild Wars has never done this, but like you could have like, all right, this server is for 40 plus. This is, and it would only ever be a guideline or whatever. But in this way, you could sort of be more likely to meet people of your age. You know, that stuff's important. What's happening with Tomb Raider? As soon as I get a free moment to record Geothermal Valley, I'll be recording Geothermal Valley. You might find the next episode of Tomb Raider goes up on Christmas, kind of like how I put an episode of X2 up on Christmas once before. Like, hey, it's back. What I really want to do is finish the series before I upload it, though. I don't want people to have to go through any more gaps. We're like 75% done with the game, so there's not actually much left to show. Do you feel like too many people have legendaries? I do, and again, the solution to that are PvE leagues for me. PvE leagues fix a lot of things when it comes to reward and prestige and bloat of items and prestige and titles and stuff. Overwatch's Bay Roadhog for life. 3 minutes remaining on this. We're actually losing the tents though. This is what I find quite funny. How much dust we got? Quite a lot. When too many bodies spawn, we will get no more enemies arriving. I think jump shot's actually a really bad thing to use. I think jump shot is like less cleave, less tagged than these other things. Look at this. Loot, 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 loot. Loot, loot, loot. Yep, that was a Butters reference. You think Ultimate Online had age-targeted servers? Maybe, but you don't recall them in EverQuest 1, 2, WoW, COH, or Aeon. You've got a good little backlog going on there. What's my opinion on the Ascended Shards of Glory? I don't know because I haven't PvP'd enough to get them yet. It looks like it's another thing where they're undermining acquisition of Ascended stuff, so I don't know. Legendaries are too common. They're just as common as, if not more than Ascended weapons. No, Jared Wolf, you're wrong about that. I'm sorry, dude. There's no way that Legendaries are more common than Ascended weapons. They are common, but I mean that was always going to be a consequence of the game aging. That was always going to happen. That's not necessarily their fault in terms of design. I think to a certain extent, now that they're adding more legendaries in, it's sort of helping because, yes, the core legendaries are common, but hey, you don't see Shusha do that much. You don't see Eureka that much. You don't see Chupa and Chumpawa that much. So that's sort of a thing. All right, quickly, let's get our last gathering. We'll go to the Strawberry Garden. There you go. So that's level 13 now. That was really good, guys. AQW has kids servers. Does that limit chat? AQW? I'm sorry. What's AQW? Am I being a moron? What's AQW? All right, let's nip through the Black Citadel. When you say leagues, do you mean something like PoE seasons? Yes, I do. Yes. So, and they'd be long term. They'd last like 6 months or so. It would not be, and I think this is the key point. I think the reason the devs would never consider something like this is because they don't want to fragment the community, because that would be the death of the MMO. If you're always running around, it feels like no one's ever around with you, then that's the death of the MMO. This would not put you into totally new mega servers. It would not put you into, it would not, if you're in the league, it wouldn't mean you can't raid with people who are in the league. Or who aren't in the league, or it'll run around in maps and things. But mega servers would try to put league people with other league people. You could join on other instances if you want, and if there aren't enough people to fill a single one anyway, then they would go together. So the mega server matchmaking would try to band these people together, but it wouldn't exclusively. Okay. But the idea is, you essentially get another shard of your account, which has 0 AP, has 0 achievements, 0 titles, 0 gold, 0 currency, 0, everything's totally flat. It all goes back to 0. And the league starts, everybody can make a new character. There are leaderboards for the first people to get to level 80. There are leaderboards for the first people to, and so you get a fresh guild there perhaps as well, like a league guild. And you can have like, you can toggle permadeath on if you like for it. You can have special league rules that like buffs, like fractal-based buffs, almost if you think about instabilities that affect only people under the impact of that league. You can change stuff. You can create league-exclusive instances if you go that far. But everyone starts fresh. Everyone goes back to 0. Everyone does. Everyone's back in skins and things like this, and then you can sort of work your way up. And at the end of the league, the people who have got very high with regard to certain things get special rewards, and then like all the legendaries and stuff you've earned in that league transition over into your main account at the end. And a league would last 3 to 6 months or 3 to 9 months, I think. And it's an excuse to get everybody to start again and play through again, and all of a sudden everyone in that league feels like titles are rewarding and stuff like that. That's a very base, very blunt overview. Now, you might have criticisms, or you might feel like it's not very fun. There's a lot of different things you can do to spruce it up, but its core, that's the idea. That's the PvE League idea. Anyone who plays Path of Exile, or hell, any other game that does that kind of thing, you'll know the strengths of something like that. Keeps people in core tier areas. It keeps people in places for the totally new people as well. Provides opportunities for new players to get back in and feel like they're starting with everyone else, even though new expansions might not include new races or professions anymore. It does an awful lot. One of the better features I think this game could end up adding. That's went the wrong way there. How about a small buff for being a party? 10% experience? Yeah, I think that would have gone a long way, honestly. I do think that would have gone a long way. I'm not quite sure why they didn't do that. It must be because they're scared of it being toxic or something. I don't know why they didn't do that in the end. Because it's a very common thing in other MMOs. It's a very common thing in other MMOs. In fact, it's a staple of other MMOs. It's the main thing they do. Were they trying to say Guild Wars 2 didn't have to do that? Guild Wars 2 was better than that? Partying wasn't supposed to be the important thing. This is just as good as being in a party, and they thought that that was okay. What I think they missed out on, what they didn't realize, was that you need as many avenues as possible and opportunities for your players to interact with one another and to communicate with one another. And all they were doing with this quality of life and this nice stuff. Oh, what? This is ruined, really? Well, we'll get it anyway. It kind of cut away a lot of that. Hindsight's 2020, though. Twitch Whispers. Yeah, you can remove more commands, B-Boy. Absolutely. No Winds of Change interest is the ghost? Yeah, I don't really... yeah, I appreciate the feedback, the ghost, but I thought long and hard about what we're doing in the guild. It's not going to change. It's going to be a test anyway. It's not like the guild will be like this forever. We're just seeing what we can do to get a better active core and to be more impressive. There will be a doc about that. But there you go, guys. So I'm going to pause the splits now. Oh, no, that's not pausing. That's creating new ones. That's fine, because I have to redo it anyway. Hold on. I don't know whether splits will be back next week. I think it'll be fun. But yeah, so we've been playing for an hour and 39 minutes so far. And we're on our way to level 40. We're level 12. And that's the progress for the first Zero to Hero. Zero to Hero will be every Monday. It might also be other days of the stream as we run out of inspiration for other things. However, next stream we do probably will be our return to A Crack in the Ice story. But there you go, guys. So that's the start of Zero to Hero again. That's what we'll be doing on Mondays from now on. Thank you so much for coming along. Thanks for all the lovely chit-chat about random things. I hope you enjoyed yourselves. I don't know, we learned a little something, or we had some fun. And I guess that, I guess I'll see you very shortly. There should be a video up on the channel. Do check out the Discord if you're interested in some of this guild stuff. 744 gold is available to win on Christmas Day. If you want to be a part of this lottery, all you have to do is get yourself a ticket. Hopefully you can check that out in chat. But until next time, guys, hope you have a wonderful one. And I will see you when I see you. I'm going to go get some bacon and egg. Catch you next time, guys.